Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the next round of Bitepoint Racing Challenge here. We head to the next round. It's our second of the two 1.5 hour races. We head to Virginia International Raceway for coming up to almost the penultimate round of our season. It is the the third last round. So we head to Road Atlanta and Sebring just after this. But welcome in. My name is Tristan Earps, joined in the commentary box today by Jim Cunningham and in the production booth, unfortunately, Evan O'Leary has had a last-minute emergency, and so he won't be here with us tonight. But the racing still continues for 1.5 hours here around the huge 3.24-mile Virginia International Raceway. I call it huge just because the track map is quite large in terms of size, but in terms of actual track length, it is still according to standard length. But we've got some good multi-class racing coming your action here yet again today for the Roasted Record BPR Sports Challenge. As we've been watching for most of the season, the GT3s and the LMP2s have been dicing it out on the track together, trying to navigate all the traffic, and we get to see it yet again. Jim, welcome in. How are we feeling for today's racing here at Virginia International?
Good to be here with you. I think I did a race here earlier this week. It was an hour-long race. This place is tough, man. It's tough for these cars to get around. You gotta execute some patience here in picking your spots to pass, especially in these multi-class situations. It's easy to get run off track here and have a little chaos caused. But this place does produce good racing, and I would say it's one of the more underrated facilities in the United States, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's a great track nonetheless. If you've ever raced it in the iRacing platform, you know that there's quite a couple of configurations that you can choose from to race. But tonight we head to the full course configuration, so the entire outside layout will be utilized here tonight. We've got that massive snake section that starts from turn 6 all the way up until turn number 10. It can be very difficult to try and plant and overtake through that section. The track does get slightly narrow, and then you do have to watch out. But after the oak tree hairpin and down the back straight you will go, you've got plenty of room to get some drafting and overtaking done and dusted. Before we head into our qualifying session, which is on in the background behind us, we'll head into our current championship standings as they lie heading into the third final round. It's going to be the LMP2s up on your screen first, and Alan Aguilar has been able to move himself up in front. Scott Murray loses that pole sitting seat that he had just the round before. David Turnbull also puts himself up into second. Scott Murray will sit now third, with Blake Ward down in fourth position with 221 points. Justin Agrette has been able to move himself up to fifth after last week's good results. 202 points to his name. Justin Bach, 188 to his in sixth, with Nicholas Secrest in seventh position currently. Harrison Holiday down in eighth, and Mauro Santa Maria, the driver who has not been able to participate in the last two rounds of racing, has gone all the way down from third position down to ninth position just from missing two of those races, unfortunately. And Jacob Sheridan down in 10th, your final of the top 10 spots. We then head to our GT3 Pro Class, which is currently headed from a new driver yet again. Francis Crosby has been able to move up into that top spot with Michael Anderson in second position. Third position is going to be Zach Houston, as him and Francis Crosby have been duking it out the entire season. So, hoping to see a little bit more action between the three of them at the top here today. John Voigt, our VR driver, down in fourth with 208 points. With Matthew Miles was leading the championship, but again, missed the round or two, and down to fifth position he goes, 184 points. Paul Basson currently sits sixth with 167. And Austin Schildauer, 153. Jordan Butler just behind him in eighth position, with Patrick Rich and Sebastian Trujillo down in 10th with 55 points on the clock. And our final class here tonight, it's still in the GT3s, but it's the Pro-Am division. It is David Volp, who started on pole last week, but unfortunately dropped off slightly. Still gets to hold his top spot, 235 points, with John Bostwick just behind him, 221 points. Jason Holland will sit behind him in third with 206 points. Blake Pietenpol, 194, with Zach Shepard and Jordan Cox lining in fifth and sixth. Lorenzo Arujo, seventh position with 173 points. Jeremiah Cohn, 162. Timothy Schaefer and Anthony Wells, your final two of the top 10 of the GT3 Pro-Am class. And that's what our points are currently looking like heading into the third final round here at VIR. And I've got to say, I'm quite excited for what we see for the racing here, Jim. This is where the points are really going to start to become important.
Yeah, I tell you, it's crazy. we've got good battles in all three of these classes. You know, we've seen some swaps for the leads in several of these categories over the last couple of weeks, and with this one and 2 more races to go after this, you know, I think we're in for quite a decent championship battle. You know, a lot better than some leagues. You know, some of them kind of get to be a little bit of a runaway, but this one's looking intriguing across all of them.
Intriguing indeed. So I am seeing on my side the session clock has gone over the 30-minute mark for qualifying. I'm not too sure how true that is on my side, as I'm seeing most of the GT3 Pro drivers have not been able to set a lap time. Arjan Singh and Zach Houston, no lap time on the name there. But currently, Harrison Holiday on your screen now, fastest driver in the LMP2 class, 137.294. And you'll get that live timings up on the left-hand side just to see it for the time being. But I think the session is in any case coming to a close. And Zach Shepard currently sits on that podium spot with a 144.6. And, you know, trying to tail ahead of the rest of the crew here. The checkered flag is being waved by a marshal up on the gantry bridge. The question is, when will things progress through? We are currently ticking over time. And I believe it's still because we've got Nicholas Acrest out on the track at the moment, down in 10th position. He's trying to get that final lap time in, as I do see him going around. And there he comes on the checkered flag line. He will go. And that should round off the final driver in the session, unless he's got one more in the tank to go for. Into the turn 1 right-hander he will go. And this will bring him towards sector 2, where the snake currently lies. But from the rest of the grid, it looks like our GT3 pros and our pro-ams are all done and dusted here for qualifying.
Yeah, that's weird. He shouldn't be able to still be going out there right now. That's a bit strange.
Yeah, unless he's there we go.
Yeah, I was going to say that didn't, you know, they'll let you finish a lap, but they're not going to let you start and finish a whole nother one, you know.
Yeah.
So now we've got our warm-up session here. I think the reason that you're not seeing the GT3 timing earlier was because I came into the session so late that it did not it didn't pick it up on my end. So I think that's why. But we'll certainly have that here in just a minute. But while we're in this warm-up session, let's go ahead and take a look at the track map. Hope you're familiar with Virginia.
Indeed. It's a track where I've spent lots of time off in the grass. And if you've participated in this track in multiple of the in the iRacing series and races, that it's a lot of free stuff that you get to do, as VIR is a free track.
It is a free track
on the platform. So yeah, exactly. So we get, you know, a lot of people are a little bit familiar here. Down in to the Americas we go, Virginia International Raceway, and by a long track, you can see it. Longitude-wise, it is a left to right, very long and withstanding wide track. But we will then head down into turn number 1. You can see cascading almost 17 full corners to go. Turn 1, you head into that heavy hairpin right-hander with the amazing preview track map coming up in your top right hand. You can see the perfect demonstration of how to take turn number 1. Turn number 1, looping through Horseshoe, and then that goes through to turn number 2. Turn number 3, the NASCAR bend, will then pull you slowly towards that second sector as you hook the left-hander, hoping to not go right over the gravel. From there, From there, you go onto the left hook. The left hook will then take you onto the snake section from turn 5 all the way up until turn number 10. And this is where it's pretty much a straight but slightly twisted road. And all the way up, you will run towards turn 7, 8, 9, and 10. The gradient does start to increase as well as the hill begins to climb. In the GT3, it is flat for most parts. And in LMP2, it is flat everywhere here. As you come out of turn number 10, it's a slight kink left, heading up towards Oak Tree now, the final hairpin of Virginia International Raceway, and almost a bit of a double apex hairpin, and that then rounds you onto the long back straight from turn 12 all the way down to turn number 13. This is a great chance for overtaking, as there's a lot of slip and draft to gain here on the back straight. You'll be right behind, tucked behind your competitor, and from that that dive down into turn number 13 is a great opportunity for an overtake. It heads deep downhill. You do not want to miss your braking zone, and it heads down to 13 through the back straight and down to roller coaster. And pretty good name for this section of roller coaster. It is pretty much a roller coaster as you head down towards Hogpen, out of turn number 17 and back onto the front straight to complete your lap around Virginia International Raceway. And that's exactly what the drivers are going to be doing here today, trying to get those valid lap times in and hoping they can keep a consistent running with all their competitors.
Yeah, this is a great track, man. And, one of the, everybody knows about the snake section running up towards, towards the oak tree section. That's obviously a very famous part of this track. I think one of the underrated part of this track is down through roller coaster. For me, I struggle there getting the car slowed up enough, or I slow it up too much getting into roller coaster. To me, it's one of the tougher parts on the track. It really is. I see a lot of off tracks there for myself anyway. But I love this place. I really do. I'm going to try to go to an IMSA race here this year. They race, I believe it's a 6-hour race here, and I'm going to try to get over there this year. It's about 2 hours from where my son goes to college, so I think I'm going to go snatch him up, and we're going to go over here to VIR and catch an IMSA race this year.
Well, very great stuff to go watch some IMSA racing, but obviously today we get to witness the good old multi-class of LMP2 and GT3. But IMSA definitely a great division to watch here at Virginia International Raceway. And like Jim says, just what a great track, and also what an iconic track. For most people, you will know this track, especially obviously like we mentioned, it being free on the platform. And lots and lots of the rookie series get to race here, like the BMW M2 CS, the Mazda MX-5s. I don't think the Formula 4s do much racing here, but I know most of the tin tops definitely get their track time out here.
I think they do. They just race that the North course, I think it's called.
South or North.
Which I actually love that North course. I love that little track. It's a fun little course too. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. But definitely agree with you there. The roller coaster section, very, very underestimated by most of the drivers, and especially on a push lap, it's one of those sections that can really mess you up, because if you do come into it a little bit too hot and you make a mistake in terms of braking or just trying to leverage your turning, most of the time it does end up with the driver planting a foot in the grass. And obviously, we know what happens from there. The grass pulls you in, and it's a bit of a difficult one to get back onto your track.
Especially here, because this place is so there's so much high speed in a lot of places where you're we probably don't want to see everybody in pit road here right now. We'll save that for later. As we let's get ready for our grid here, because this is a big one.
Yeah, big one indeed. Starting all the way up in front with the LMP2s, it is Harrison Holiday alongside our current championship leader of Alan Aguilar, who was just not able to get the fastest lap time in. The second row then moves on in third position. Justin Negret will line up alongside Blake Ward. Also, two currently up in the top there for the championship running of the LMP2 class. P number 5 to row number 3 starts off with David Turnbull, the second runner currently in that championship standings. He's got Justin Bach just alongside him for P number 6. P number 7 onwards, we move down. It's Scott Mowry, our leader, who used to be the leader just a couple of rounds ago, has unfortunately been demoted down to 5th position in the standings and starts 7th with Jacob Sheridan alongside him in 8th position. Emilio Poplowski in 9th position with Kai Galagos in 10th position. From that, just Jake Bennett, who is in the LMP2 class, but he's in a Mercedes, so we'll move past him. But there's Nicholas Acrest down in 11th position, and he currently sits as your final driver in the LMP2s. Francis Crosby, the first of the GT3s and leading that pro class in P number 12, but first overall in his class. It moves down from him to Zach Houston, who will line up just behind him in P number 13, and Paul Basson aligning alongside. It's a double Porsche row. It's a Porsche row lockout here for row number 7, and we'll see what they can do with this standing on the grid. P number 15 moves down to Zach Shepard, alongside him Michael Anderson in that Acura, and we'll have to see what they can both do. Which car is going to be the benefactor here today? John Voigt, the other Acura, lines up 17th with Justin Marsh down in 18th position. Zach Shepard was the first of your pro-ams as well. David Volp, there we get the next of the pro-ams. It's David Volp with Lorenzo Arajo in 20th position in that Red Bull Porsche that loves to glow out on track. John Bostwick, followed by James Gilpin in P21 and P number 22. Row number 12, we move on to Tyler Crow, and Jeremiah Cohn. It's a McLaren lockout for row number 12. Let's hope that the boys in orange can do something about it. Timothy Schaefer will be starting 25th with Ihor Ochko just a bit further down in 26th position. Getting towards the leg end of our grid, it is Brian Lavrisa with Blake Pietenpol in 27th and 28th position. Just behind is going to be the next following of the drivers. It is Jordan Cox and Austin Schildhauer lining on that 15th row of today's racing. And the final row, we still got one more. It's Jason Holland in 31st position. And our John Singh, unfortunately, not getting a lap time in qualifying, down in 32nd position. Your final driver, Jake Bennett, will be starting at the backside of this grid. P number 33. 33 cars to take it around the big old Virginia International Raceway. Boy, oh boy, I can tell you, Jim, I am excited to see what action they bring us today.
Yeah, it should be. It's gonna be some good racing. It's probably gonna be a little chaotic at the beginning, but after we get through that, I think we'll be in for some good racing today.
Absolutely so. As we now see the cars heading down that back straight, just coming out of Oak Tree, you can see the separation has already been done and dusted for the LMP2s and the GT3s. So the GT3s will be quite a bit of a margin back from the LMP2s so that they don't stockpile onto each other coming down into that turn number 1 hairpin. And through roller coaster section, the LMP2s go, and the GT3s come just joining onto the circuit at the backside, just rounding around Oak Tree and now doing all that they can to keep those tires nice and warm. Some will do the zigzagging left and right, trying to get a bit of airflow. Others will be simply holding those brakes, doing a technique called brake dragging, getting all the heat generated from those brakes through the tire rim into the inside lining of the actual rubber of the tire. And that also quite an advanced way of getting the tires nice and warm heading down into turn number 1. A big thing as well with the LMP2s, remember that there is no ABS, and so the brakes do get quite cold if you do not utilize them correctly in the formation lap. And cold brakes without ABS heading into turn number 1 can be quite volatile. So let's hope all of our LMP2 drivers have done the necessary formation lap procedures. They've got the car warmed up and ready to go for racing, because they head out of the roller coaster section now. It is going to be Holiday alongside Aguilar. Up to the gantry lights they come. The pace car pulls in, and he's sitting in the pit lane with the lights off. It is now all up to the LMP2s, and it's already green light pull-off for Harrison Holiday. And what a great pull-off he's got already from Alan Aguilar. Justin Gret is now posing as a threat. Into second position they will go. It looks like everyone's warmed the brakes quite nicely. They make it through turn number 1 with quite a low amount of pressure, but Harrison Holiday 7/10 up in the first sector here, and he's been able to pull away with quite a leading charge in that red LMP2. Let's hope that he can keep it up. There's our GT3s. They're about to start the race as we have one of the LMP2s starting from the pit lane. It is Francis Crosby who holds up in front in the big Mercedes, and he's been able to get the pull on Zach Houston as well, heading down into the horseshoe turn number 1. Let's hope it remains quite clean behind with all the drivers as they wrap into the right-hander. Seems like we're going to have quite a clean start to this for the time being. There's the LMP2 joining in. He's got some traffic that he's got to join into, and we'll have to wait and see how he's going to manage that. But Francis Crosby, 2.5 tenths up ahead. There's already overtakes happening towards the back end side, and that's Tyler Crow moving up on Jeremiah Cohn, who's blipping a bit, unfortunately, and great overtake nonetheless from the mid-pack drivers.
Yeah, it's we pretty good clean start overall. Everybody's behaving a little bit. And, we got somebody going around back there. Not sure who that is yet. I don't really see anybody dropping down the timing tower.
I'm seeing a 13th position. That's looks like Ihor Ochko possibly in that GT3 Pro-Am class. Could be Jeremiah Cohn as well. Yeah, I see Cohn is currently sitting in the pit lane. So not too sure what happened to Jeremiah Cohn here. Have a look on the right-hand side of Tyler Crow. Left-hand side, apologies. And flips the inside curb, and those curbs can be quite big for the GT3s.
That's not an exaggeration. Yeah, those curbs can be nasty.
Yep, no, they definitely can. And it's even worse in a formula that's nice and low to the floor. The GT3s still have a bit of an advantage with that ride height. So Jeremiah Cohn into the pit lane. He will go with that front-end damage. Unfortunately, that's not going to be a nice one to repair. As we head back up to our LMP2 classes, and Harrison Holiday, it seems like he's put in a lot of practice here. It was 1.2 seconds. I mean, damn.
I can't even tell you, no disrespect to Harrison Holiday in any way, shape, or form, but, man, this is quite surprising to me. I've been watching Harrison in this league and in the GT3 league that he races in that we broadcast here on the channel. And I have to say, this is the best starting performance that I've seen from him since I've been covering these.
Yeah, it seems he's really been able to shape himself in this race. And as you mentioned, no disrespect at all to Holiday, but he hasn't had the best of seasons here so far for Bitepoint. A little bit more of a mid-pack drive in the LMP2s and slightly less consistent as well. Unfortunately, he's had a room of incidents so far in this season. And now heading into the final 3 rounds, it seems like he's managed to lock in for Virginia International. Hopefully all that experience in the other rookie level cars, all the free experience that the drivers get on the iRacing platform has seemed to pay off for Harrison Holiday as he now pulls away. But Alan Aguilar wants his second position back, and now he fights against Justin the Great. But David Turnbull is going to join in on this fight, and he's looking on the inside line. It's almost going to be 3 wide heading down into turn number 1. There we have a nice camera angle of Justin the Great as he tries to hold the outside line and keep all the focus that he can. Definitely running a triple monitor setup. As you can see, a massive screen side on the right hand. And as we can see, still holding on the right-hand side, he's got Alan Aguilar roping, holding onto that outside line. And Turnbull has been forced just behind him. And Aguilar gets a little bit slippery on the curbs, and he's going to have to back off. That's going to allow that Turnbull to run away. Yeah, lots and lots of action in our LMP2s here.
We got like a 6-car, 7-car train here.
Yeah, it's great to see the LMPs fighting each other down to the line. There's Blake Ward. He's also trying to hold himself just neatly in the middle. There's Scott Mowry just up behind him. And Justin Bock. There's another good camera angle of Justin Bock. He's got a great setup as well. Nice little tablet control board, the button box, which is, in my opinion, always better than an actual button box because it means you've got full customization and you can always change it up when you feel you want to. So great little rig instrument there. A cheap old tablet that you grab. You install one of the Sim Hub or one of the Sim Dashboard softwares, and off you go with a neat piece of software. Justin Negreto up in front, second, still chasing behind the likes of Harrison Holiday now. 4.5 seconds, Jim. Can you believe it? Okay, it's breaking down now to 3.2, but still over 3 seconds of a gap to the race leader. Harrison Holiday is definitely got some roasted records in him tonight.
Yeah, he does. I have to say that battle back there certainly helped him out. Those guys going tooth and nail back there a little bit certainly helped him gain an advantage there. But as we switch over here to the more grouped, not grouped, the overall standings here to help us figure out what's going on out here. We obviously got a lot of stuff going on tonight. Let's pull this up as well. Give everybody an idea who's leading in each class. Francis Crosby with a good showing tonight so far. Pretty impressed with him as well. Pole position and out here leading this race early. Good to see that. He had a strong finish Wednesday night in the other league where he drives GT3s in both of them. So
it seems like he's getting all the track time he needs for the practice for Bitepoint. But one thing he's got to watch out for, and it's a great entertainment factor for us here in the virtual grandstand and the commentary box, is that the two rivals will be tackling each other shortly. It is Zach Houston just behind Franz Crosby. And if you've been here at all for the season here of Bitepoint, you'll know that these two have been neck and neck practically this entire season, trying to fight it out with each other. And from liveries, it's almost looking like they're actually a part of the same team. Both Bitepoint Racing inspired liveries all over that car. So maybe a bit of team play coming up in front, and that's why they push each other so much. And currently holding off that GT3 class as a whole, but also the GT3 pros. Velp has also gotten himself moved back up into the lead of the GT3 Pro-Ams. There we see him sitting just a bit further behind in 16th, about 4 positions off from the lead of the GT3 pros. And Shepard and Welsh have been able to navigate themselves into the top 3 of the Pro-Am class. There we see Shepard just behind in the big Mustang. It's the battle of the Mustangs with Welsh in the Porsche. Now looking on the inside, there's an overtake opportunity there for Welsh, and he's going to make it on Oak Tree. What a great inside overtake for Welsh, using the Porsche's advantage with the rotation, and he moves up into second position for the Pro-Ams. But it's not over yet. The Mustang is going to have the better run down towards Roller Coaster here. Slightly better top speed. The Porsche behind of Viraggio is going to have a slight bit of slipstream as well. But there we see Zach Shepard reclaiming that position. However, it depends on who's going to have the inside lines here. And Zach Shepard is able to navigate up in front. Unfortunately, the Porsche just not having the legs to beat the Mustang on the back straight.
Yeah, that Mustang, the old freedom horsepower there coming downhill on that back straightaway at Virginia there. That's a pretty easy overtake for that with that amount of horsepower advantage he's got there. Looks like Arroyo's gonna try to do a little slipstream and pass him Walsh himself, which he did, got it done. And Arroyo, we've been listening to him as a pro. He's actually a pro.
Incident in the background.
Oh,
apologies about that, Jim. That's
no,
Tyler Crow.
Good.
Yeah, Tyler Crow's moving down 25th position here. Not too sure what's happened. Yeah, looked like the entrance to turn number 1, and there it is. Just a bit too much. Almost collecting the Aston Martin there, but just over-rotating the McLaren and off into the grass he goes.
So easy to do there. So easy to overcook it into one. I'm not sure if he's done. Nope, he's not done.
It's a second, yeah.
Well, now he's got those tires heated up now, and now they're angry. So he's going to have to take it easy now for a minute or two.
Yeah, and we'll get that track temperature and ambient temperature up on the right-hand side, so we can see what the drivers are possibly fighting with here. In terms of when they cook the tires a bit too much, we can have a bit of a look. It's all in the American standard here for me. That's all confusing words.
Well, that's super comfortable. That's like 21, 22 degrees Celsius, something like that. I mean,
all right.
Yeah, it's low. It's
so
you literally couldn't ask for better conditions than that to be racing in, to be honest with you. It's low 70s, track temperature-wise, mid-60s, ambient air temperature. I mean, just as beautiful a day as you could ask for right there.
Yeah, absolutely so. So fortunately for the likes of Tyler Crow, there should be quite a bit of an easier recovery to get those tires back down to running optimal temperature. We're not sitting on a 31-degree track temp like we often see at the harder circuits, and that's fortunate for him. Blake Bitepoint down in 23rd position for the Millwright team, and a little bit of a blipping there from our Lamborghini of Labrisa. As we now see Bitepoint on the inside line of turn number 1. Great overtake, and almost looks like a bit of a Castrol livery, if you have to ask me. Very nice coming from Blake Bitepoint. Love that green and red blend that he's got going on.
Kind of almost somewhat representative of like an Italian flag as well.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, he's American, but really cool. It's a good-looking livery, though. You and I are big livery fans. People will probably get tired of us. You know, we didn't even mention. We've been here this whole time. We haven't even talked about the fact that this is one of 2 90-minute endurance races this season. I don't even know that we mentioned that, but
I think we
did. I'm not even sure if we did or not. But
I think at the start I mentioned that this is the second of our 1.5 hours.
But either way, people are going to get tired of us talking about liveries by the time this hour and a half is over. Was my point, because you and I both love liveries, so we'll go on and on about good-looking liveries.
Absolutely. A good livery is always a great intimidation factor out on the track. It's a great way to scare off your opponents a bit.
It adds a level of immersion that I really enjoy. I mean, if I've got to go pick the standard factory-type livery or something, I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. I like having control over what my car looks like. It's just it's fun to me. I like doing paint jobs. I make them so. But even if not, I would still go pick them.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing as well is that Arroyo just losing out there to Shepard.
Look at him.
Yeah, he's just lost out to Shepard, but now he moves up and back into second. So now he's chasing onto Volpia for second in the Pro-Am Championship. So. That's a great work done by Lorenzo Arroyo.
Let me just tell, but people don't know. You don't even know this. So he contacted me because he runs in this league and the Wednesday night league as well. He contacted me about using some of my footage and making a little video, highlight video for himself. And of course, I said sure. And so I watched this little video he made. He's only been iRacing like 3 months. And
Some great
yeah,
dedication there.
no, I mean, and he had never raced in a league until he came to he came to the Wednesday league first, and then he joined this one to get more practice in. So he's only been iRacing like 3 months. So, you know, I mean, I've given him a hard time at some point in time during the season about some stuff that he did, you know, or whatever. But then when I found out how long he's been iRacing, and he's really, really practicing hard, you can tell, because he's making big gains. I mean, David Volpe is no joke, and he's staying right on the back of Volpe, and Volpe is fast. You know, Zach Shepard is fast.
With a full course yellow, it seems, though. Wonder what's happened somewhere out on our track. And, yeah, I'm not too sure. Oh, and Zach Shepard almost gets run into the back by Welsh. That was a very close call for that third position. So he has a bit of a replay. This is Arjan Singh. Oh, that is a massive spin-off for the Ferrari driver. And then on the curbs, oh, my word, that is a great avoidance from the LMP2 driver. Stand still. Oh, my word, that is a terrible spot to be sitting.
Oh, there it is. I knew.
There's the tap. Yep.
So one of the things that triggers these cautions, they briefed us. Did you read the briefing today? It was in our broadcaster notes. But basically, if you got a 4X incident that involves two cars, they both get a 4X, and one of the two cars ends up with a meatball, that will trigger a full course caution. And so that's what happened there when the second car got involved. Jeremiah Cohn, when he got hit on the rejoin, he got a meatball out of it, so that's what triggered the flag. And we can have up to 2 of these during this event, and it will not occur in the last 15 minutes of the race. So that we've been tweaking on the cautions and the full course cautions all season a little bit, and they're working on getting a system that works best, I guess.
Yeah, if you were here for a couple of the beginning rounds of Bitepoint, you'll know, especially at Laguna Seca, I think literally going down into the hairpin, I think we had 2 corners and then a full course yellow was called, and that was obviously just changing up the rules of when the safety car comes out, and I think it was just based on a couple of incidents. And so when a couple of drivers give each other a few bumps down into turn number 1, it's enough incident points for the safety car to be called. So definitely agree with that factor of making sure there's a meatball flag involved, because that definitely means someone has planted it somewhere and their car is damaged beyond a point of on-track safety, and they've been called in by the marshals to come and get their car fixed. So definitely a good reason for the pace car to be pulled out here, the safety car, Porsche car, up in front. And like Jim says, this could be one of 2 in today's racing. Hopefully this is our last in our 1.5 hour. The more time we've got out on track, the merrier it will be for these drivers to try and get themselves up in the running order. But one thing I still wanted to say about the liveries as well is that, the more liveries we see out on track, it also just shows the dedication of our drivers out on track. When you actually have a driver who's picked a good livery, or even possibly a self-designed livery, the level of commitment that they've chosen to give to this league here at Bitepoint Racing when they, whip out an absolute masterpiece like we've seen in a couple of other leagues, Jim. And so, it's always great to see when, absolutely. It's just always great to see when drivers pull out, a good livery. And there we see the GT3s being allowed to unlap themselves from the LMP2s as they all sit. And unfortunately for Harrison Holiday, he is going to lose that 3-second gap. It's back down to right behind from Justin Agrette. If he does not get the pull-off here, unfortunately, he might be in a bit of trouble for the lead of that LMP2 class.
Yeah, what's interesting is how this is going to play in with the pit stop situation. I'm guessing that everybody was figuring on making it on 2 stops. So, interesting. Harrison Holiday decided to come on in. Several of them are coming on in, actually.
So a bit of a strategy being played here. And, looks like majority of it is going to be the LMP2s, but a couple of GT3s joining in at the back there.
Actually, quite a bit. They're still pouring in back there, look.
Yeah, even more. Look at that. Everyone deciding to come into the pit lane under safety car regulations. You save a lot of time putting under safety car, and so this is what all the drivers have decided that they are going to do here. This is
So
going to
this
save them a
tells
lot
me
of time.
that potentially maybe some of them thought they were going to have to do an extra pit stop for a splash or something, maybe, you know?
Yeah, this could have been a bit of a blessing in disguise for all we know for these drivers. Maybe this has worked out a bit more in their favor, as we do see most of them have decided to now come into box. And this is definitely going to play different into the strategy. But like you say, even though this was a two-stop dedicated strategy for today's racing, there could have been another pit stop needing to be done here for the drivers, to get that final bit of fuel towards the line. And this could have been just enough to make it towards the end. So for those few drivers who decided to stay out, I'm not 100% sure who did stay out. I know a couple of our LMP2s up in front,
So,
like Justin Agret, Alan Aguilar, they did not come in.
right.
So
Everybody from, on your timing and scoring, everybody from John Bostrick up stayed out. So Bostrick, Cox, I can't say his name. Ochako, how you say it? Ochko, yeah. Voigt.
Ochko.
Well, you know, what can I say? Zach Houston, Pulowski, Poplowski. Yeah, boy. That's why I do production and don't normally do commentary for that very reason right there. Alan Aguilar and Negret. That's the ones that stayed out. I mean, I don't necessarily question this decision in any way. It's just a different version of strategy. And it may not be that anybody was going to have an additional pit stop. This may just be a way for these guys to extend their race longer on the first stop, on the next stop, who knows? I mean, that's the beauty of endurance racing. It's not only just go. There's strategy involved, and I love that.
Yeah, it's always the joy of endurance racing, and it's why I always prefer it over sprints, is just the fact that, the pit stop strategies, it really does pull into additional factors that the drivers get to pull in here in terms of where they finish up at the end. The smarter pick from drivers will definitely get them rendered better results. And so, there's some drivers who really practice that race strategy and that pit stop strategy. They really begin to understand what weather can do to it. And a couple of the more veteran drivers will be at an advantage here in terms of pit stop strategies, because they've had multiple cases of failing in a pit stop strategy and they get to learn from it. Whereas, a couple of our newer drivers like Arroyo, it might be a bit of a new topic to him of the pit stop strategy control function, just getting that correct time to come in. I don't think we're going to see any one-stops here. It is just too long to do any one-stop strategies. So that definitely won't happen. But 2-stop might be on the line, 3-stop, not too sure. It'll all come down to that final 1 hour where we see what the drivers do. But on our 50-minute races, it is usually around the half an hour mark that we see those pit stops coming in. So now we're at the 20-minute mark. Most of the drivers, except for the front few, have decided to come in. I wonder if that's going to be a bit of regret from the drivers up in front. The pace car stays out for yet another lap, as we do have the number 30 in terms of track position, very, very, very far away currently from the rest of the grid. You can see 30th position just on the back straight over there, coming down into roller coaster. He's got to catch up to all these cars up in front before
I think they were also just still getting these cars sorted, although they were doing a good job of getting back into their class lines and everything. I think it was just going to take a little more. I'm going to be honest with you, man, and this is just an opinion, and it's probably going to be unpopular, but, to me, caution flags in endurance racing really only should happen for driver safety. When there's a driver on track who is in an unsafe place and can get injured, then you throw the caution. So that can't happen in iRacing. And I'm a believer that I don't feel like we should have caution flags in these races. If you do, then let's call them what they really are, which is a competition caution, which is going to bring the field back together and make the racing better, right? There's no one in danger. There's no car out there that's just going to destroy the field because it has to be towed off by a wrecker, So in my opinion, I just feel like we don't need them. That's just a personal opinion. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there that disagree, and if you do, jump into chat and share that opinion. We would love to. We'd love to have you chatting us up here in chat, and we'll certainly like to engage with you.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting topic with those full course yellows and the safety cars coming out. Unfortunately, like we've seen here, it does result in a lot of time lost in terms of actual racing. And, this pace car has been up in front, holding off this entire grid for, a good 6 minutes now. Unfortunately, that's
probably, yeah.
the amount of time it's taken for the entire grid to catch up. And so, yeah, that's 6 minutes of hardcore racing that we unfortunately get to miss due to the safety car being out so long. It's a completely different topic in an event such as Formula One, where that safety car sits out for like a maximum of 2 to 3 laps. But unfortunately, here at Virginia International, it seems like it's stayed out for quite some time. I do see the lights being turned off.
In IRL racing, in real life racing, I don't question it because there's safety issues, and you got to get these cars out of, in a spot where I get that, and I got no issue with that whatsoever. But in virtual racing, I just don't see the point. We didn't save anybody's life there, or we didn't. And then on top of that, it was a relatively minor incident that caused it. It was a guy who spun, and then he had a bad rejoin and collected one other car. And it just wasn't that big of a deal. Again, it's just a personal opinion. But yeah, it's been, just so you know, it's been 10 minutes.
10 minutes lost. Yeah. That is
so.
Yeah, that's quite a large figure to be losing under safety car conditions. Even though we're in a 1.5 hour race, imagine this was the 50-minute. I mean, that's an entire fifth of the race lost. Yeah. And it's finally in. It's finally done and dusted, and we get to go racing yet again. So Justin Negret leads this entire pack as Holiday decides to come into the pit lane a couple of laps ago. But now it is Justin Negret's turn. What can he do to keep himself up ahead? He's gotten a good pull yet again on Alan Aguilar. But what can he do to keep himself up in front? You can see Holiday just a bit further behind in 4th position. He'll be trying to work his way back up this grid after the pit stops he's made. And unfortunately, Emilio Poplawski has made an error into turn number 1, and onto the grass they will go. And that's a move up into 3rd position for Harrison Holiday. Looks like the pit stop strategy is going to work quite well in his favor. There's contact between the LMP2s, and someone's gone off. It's Scott Mowry, our championship leader from a couple of races ago, has completely dropped off the pack there. And I saw contact and a couple of smokes. So there's Poplawski, and on the left-hand side is Scott Mowry. Was there contact between the two of them? Scott Mowry coming into the next corner.
Nah, he just took it.
Completely, self-inflicted from the rear of that car.
Kept it out of the wall, though.
Into the grass he goes. Yeah, he was able to keep it out the wall. That is the good part, at least.
Check back here on these GT3 drivers. Oh, we got somebody off there. I think that was Welsh.
Gilpin.
No, that was
Gilpin off.
That was Gilpin, huh?
It looks like Gilpin in his Aston Martin, and there's another one. There's another Aston Martin that's gone off. There's James Gilpin. So he meets his match with another Aston Martin who's gone around. That's one of the Bitepoint Astons. So not too sure who that might be who's just dropped off. Possibly Schaefer. Schaefer as well. Yeah, there he is. Timothy Schaefer onto the inside line. He's got Welsh on the outside. And again, just cooking the tires on the restart. The driver's not ready. And the tires, unfortunately, not warmed up enough to take all the racing action straight off the bat from the safety car launch.
No, that's correct. All right, let's see. Let's go back up here. We've got a couple of battles happening up here in the front.
Oh, someone's off again. I saw smoke on the right-hand side.
I saw smoke too, but I don't see anybody dropping. Was it Seacrest? No.
I'm not too sure. I even saw tire tread on the track, so I'm not not 100% sure who we saw going off. Oh, there goes somebody.
That's again, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's struggling right now.
A bit on that race relaunch is just not having the time of his life yet, but he has a bit of a better battle. It's Blake Ward. He's just about to lose out on the outside line now to Nicholas Acrest, who's trying to make his way around, but fortunately has the inside line. He's able to get the rotation on that high downforce LMP2, and he will stay in 4th position for the time being. But unfortunately, this is causing him to lose out. We've still got the replay cam up and running. We'll get your live timings to you shortly on the left-hand side to see where everybody else runs, and there we'll get the switch back. So up in front, it is Blake Ward. He's got that train from 4th position with Sakresh, Sheridan, and Bach. All behind, there's more contact and potentially going to be stopping on track. Great avoidance from the Porsche driver in the background. He's able to stop the car quick enough and avoid the spinning Porsche driver. That's the blue Porsche up in front there. Not too sure who that is in that blue Porsche, but now getting overtaken.
No,
it's 41. Yeah, it's number 41. I'm not too sure. 411. It's Paul Basson, who was just able to avoid that pink car of Jordan Cox. So great work to make that work. And Zach Houston up into second position still for the Pro Class of the GT3s. And now he's got Bostwick, not Bostwick behind. That's Walsh behind him. So not too sure how Walsh is behind. If this is Paul Basson, apologies. That's Paul Basson. He's got Walsh behind him. And we did just see Houston, and it just switched over to Paul Basson in 19th position as they head down the back straight now. There we see Shepard still in the background. Tyler Crow also trying to keep up with all these drivers as they head down the back straight. Alan Aguilar moves up into the pole position as Negrete comes into the pit lane, is what I'm seeing. I do see it's disappeared from his name.
He's off track.
Oh, he wrecked. Yeah, that's a meatball flag
too
on Negrete. Oh,
you can see the hands being thrown up.
Yeah, he's not happy about this one. What has happened to Justin Negrete coming into the left-hander? Did he overcook the tires?
Oh no, that's
wheel. That's wheel.
That's a wheel failure there.
Yeah, that is the worst.
Straight left.
Yeah, that is always the worst kind of incident you can have. Completely out of his control, and you could see it just not the game not reading his wheel input, and
like we say, man.
Yeah, no, it's a terrible way to go out, and I mean, Justin Negrete was leading this race, and down he falls out, and Alan Aguilar will move up into first position now, and he's going to have Blake Ward chasing on behind as well. So now all the drivers, Turnbull holding off in second. He has Arjan Singh, the driver who unfortunately caused the first the first safety car launch of this session. He gets a great overtake on the inside line there. What a great move on the Porsche driver of, I believe, Paul Basson. No, that's not Paul Basson. That's number 8, the number 8 Porsche, and I believe that's one of the GT3 Prams. Yeah, it's the likes of Blake Pietenpol. And moving up on the inside line. Oh, bit of contact, and Pietenpol goes around, and Paul Basson again is able to just avoid in the background. Very, very close action between all of these drivers, and Singh gets himself a black flag.
Wow. Boy, you talk about racking up some points quickly. I mean, we know he caused that first incident, but holy cow. We're under caution again. This is it. This is the second one of the day. That incident
all right,
there.
Taking caution.
Well, I'm guessing
seems.
Well, let's see. We got several incidents here. Let's see. So this is where, contact with.
This is where he gets his 4X. So this is the additional 4X that gets him the penalty.
Pietenpool got a. No, he did not get a meatball.
He didn't get an earth. I think that might still be linked to Justin Negrete's meatball. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. There's no other meatballs we can see out on circuit. So I'm assuming it's probably going to be linked to Justin Negrete's meatball. It's the only one we could see in the past, I'd say 2 minutes. So I wonder how long that window is open for that action to happen.
So look here. Look what this is when he went to rejoin, though. I don't think this is over yet.
All right, so Blake Pietenpol sitting on the outskirts of the track. Did he possibly rejoin unsafely? And here he comes to the rejoin. Onto the track, he plants himself. And, okay, it looks like he was all in the clear. He definitely waited there.
His car's
damaged
tore
Porsche.
Up.
Yeah, very damaged Porsche. Does he plant himself in the wall and get a meatball? We unfortunately didn't see as he dropped quite far down on the order. So through the S's he runs. And I'm assuming he is going to lose it. Yeah, that Porsche looks very unstable. One wrong correction, and around you will go and into the wall. So not too sure. Maybe this was caused by Blake Pietenpol. There he stops off on circuit and returns. Yeah, so not but confused there. I won't lie to you, Jim.
Yeah, I'm not. Like I said, I'm nothing. It's their choice. I'm not a huge fan of these cautions. I just don't see the need. When this is all said and done, we're gonna be 15 to 20 minutes of racing missed because of this, and I just don't see the need. You're not. I don't know. Apparently, Janet Castro, 1973, out there agrees with us or with me. I don't know. I don't know that you actually agreed with me or not. But
Now,
she did.
Yes, I definitely do somewhat agree with it in terms of the virtual world. Like you say, it's there's not really much of a technicality point of view of getting a car off circuit because there is a return to pit lane in sim racing, and so that has happened a couple of times. And unfortunately, just in sim racing, just the
they're
way
still
that the
wrecking.
system
Look.
works, oh my word, there's contact in the safety car, and that's not going to be good for Arjan Singh. This is the 4th incident he's been involved in this 32 minutes of so long racing.
He ain't far from qualifying for a DQ flag.
Yeah, he might get close to it. He's got to watch out in that green Ferrari. But like I mentioned, it just seems like this yellow flag situation, the safety car, the whole system just takes a bit of time for the drivers to catch up on themselves. Yes. And there we see the black flag coming up from James Gilpin as well on the top right-hand side. Great little overlay for us to always have a good overview of the entire track, because there we see lots of drivers. Meatball flag for Tyler Crow. What has happened to Tyler Crow to get a meatball flag in this late stage of the safety car? What on earth have these drivers been doing in the pit lane? I'm not too sure where Tyler Crow's gotten himself that meatball. I don't see it now on the left-hand side, but we obviously saw it in the top right as we see lots of our GT3s coming into the box here to get that pit stop done. It is around the half-an-hour mark, so, I mean, it is normally this would be the time they come in, but remember that most of these drivers have already served the pit stop in that previous stint. And so we'll have to see. But remember, this is the final of the safety cars. Even if more incidents happen, there will not be any more called. So for those drivers wanting to make a pit stop, this is the time to do it, to save time. There will not be any more opportunity to save time here in this race. Blake Ward, I don't think he's pitted at all in this race so far.
No, he has.
He has pitted? Yeah, okay. So he pitted in the first.
He pitted on lap 9. Does your timing and scoring not? You need to adjust what you see on your timing and scoring.
So
there's some options it gives you that you can change some of the things you see.
Yeah, so I see if I scroll very far right, I can see the pit stops, and
there it is.
And see that Blake Ward has done it all the way far on the right hand side. But yeah, somehow I need to work that to be viewed on the main pane instead of scrolling, because the scrolling is the killer here.
You got to shrink the size. You got it all blown up big for some old man eyes, and you got them young man eyes. You should be able to see that stuff.
Yeah, I've just got to get rid of a couple of overlays here. I think I've got every single sector displayed on my main screen, and so
that's that's a thing too. So. Yes, you could sectors, or like I don't really ever see a need for top speed. I take that off. There's no need for that really. Yeah, from a commentator standpoint, anyway.
See, all right, yeah. So there we go. Now I've got the pit stops on my main pane. There we go. That's much better. All right, so I've been able to remove the sectors, and that took up a heck of a lot of space.
Oh, half the screen.
Sector, yeah. Essentially, each of the sectors is quite a column's width. So that's been removed. I can now see the pit lane, how many times they've come in, and which laps was their last pit stop. So the top 3, all only one stop. Ward, Secrest, and Sheridan all came in on lap number 9, and so that's a 1 stop so far done by them. Bach, though, in 4th position, has done his second pit stop here at lap number 15, so he came in for a second time in the second yellow flag safety car session. So he's going to have the slight advantage, possibly coming towards the end of this race, being another pit stop down and not losing out anywhere near as much time as you would under normal racing conditions. I do, however, still see the lights on that safety car, Jim. So it looks like we're going to be going for yet another lap.
We still got to get everybody back in position. We've got 3 or 4 LMPs that are still way back in the field.
Yep, definitely so. And so we're going to be here for a while, unfortunately, waiting for the safety car to do its job. We've got our very own Bert Maylander up in front, controlling the grid, and making sure that all the cars return back to their grid spots. If the GT3s need to unlap themselves, I don't know if it's going to be allowed here again. I haven't seen any of the GT3s go past. It seems like they're all behind. There we see Alan Aguilar in the background. He's now coming all the way back up the grid. Yeah. And so he's obviously come into the pit lane, as we do see him. So that was his first pit stop, actually. So Alan Aguilar, first pit stop at lap number 15. And so that's going to be him a bit further behind. And hopefully he can do something with that fresh fuel tank. I don't know if they've gone for fresh tires, and I don't know if they can hold on to one set of tires in this 1.5-hour race. I know in the 50-minute they usually can, but this is a whole extra 40 minutes added to that total stint time. That's essentially a whole extra stint that they've got to perform here. So I'm assuming tires are going to have to be replaced. I don't know when, though, is the question for these drivers, possibly at the next pit stop, as I definitely think there'll still be one more for all of these drivers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%. To me, at this point, all we are is back on what would be the normal regular pit stop cycle with a couple extra laps added because we were under caution. You know, to me, we're right back on what should have been the normal pit stop cycle, just because of the way it all happened. You know, but I think what's interesting here is these GT3 cars. Well, I guess the whole key is just being able to maybe save a little bit of time on track and ultimately a quicker pit stop next time around, you know. Like, that's another thing. You know, some guys that looks like took tires here. See, I'm not opposed to taking tires here. That way you don't have to take them next time around. I don't mind that. Taking tires under a safety car is much better than taking them under a green flag pit stop, which we know the next pit stop will be green flag. And if you look, several of these guys looks like they took tires, although it's not going to probably show up in this stat because it only shows 10 drivers, and I would need to probably show like 25.
I know we see Alan Aguilar, though. At least that shows he's on all 4 fresh tires, so that's a bit of a good insight to know. And he's the leading the leading LMP2 on fresh tires currently. No one else up in front has done any form of tire changes this race. They're all just running on fuel changes so far. So,
but you can see down through the field, some guys have taken tires. And I like that strategy here because I think that it, you know, you don't have to take them under green flag next time around, you know, and I like that. So, yeah, I find that interesting as we're working our way back around here. We're looks like we will be going back green this time around.
Yeah, fortunately for us, we get to go yet again. And almost approaching our halfway mark. The 45-minute mark will signal halfway in this race. And unfortunately, for the most part of it, about half of that halfway has been wasted under the safety car conditions. But the fortunate part is this is the final one that can be allowed here tonight. Even if we have a massive pile-up, there will not be a safety car called out, which is good for us because it means the racing continues and has a much better longevity. As we now see, the safety car will pull in. Blake Ward will now lead the LMP2 class with Nicholas Secrest and Jacob Sheridan behind him. And you can see how close Secrest is getting. Coming down to turn number 1, it's all going to be the controlled launch here for Blake Ward. What can he do to keep himself ahead? We're waiting. You'll see the car launch pretty clearly once he decides to pull away. And there we see it. Great launch from Blake Ward. And he's gotten a bit of an element of surprise on Nicholas Secrest. Nowhere near the amount of Holiday on lap number 1, but he's still gotten a bit of a pull. 6/10 of a gap already to the leaders up in front. Blake Ward will now try and control it for the remainder of this race. Remember that any cold tires could cause issues, as we now see Poplawski and Holiday in the background, and it seems like Holiday's had an issue. He's dropping down drastically. Our leader of this race currently at the start of it. Oh, that's another huge incident. Blake Ward, the driver who was up in front, has dropped down all the way and into the pit lane he goes from too much damage. What on earth happened to Blake Ward just after switching the camera off?
Wow, I mean, and it wasn't even in that violent of a part of the track. I mean, he just looks like he ran off track. I mean, just plain and simple, just run it off track there. Overcooked it, probably spun it here. Cold tires. Cold tires are brutal, man.
Yeah, no, they definitely are, especially in the LMP2s. Cold brakes are even worse.
Yeah, that's what happened. Back in the fence, tore it up.
And into the pit lane he will go. I think he just went for a quick toe. There was no chance he was going to navigate all the way around the circuit with all that damage on the backside. He already got the meatball, I believe. And yeah, a good move from Blake Ward. Unfortunately, he's going to have to sit with that towing penalty. But to try and navigate around the track with all these GT3s and LMP2s, he would just actually cause even more of a risk out on track. So good job to him to pulling it in. But now up in front, Michael Anderson has moved up into second position on Francis Crosby for the Pro class. And Zach Houston has unfortunately dropped down quite a bit of a long shot. And that could have been something to do with our pit stop strategies. We'll have a bit of a look. So Zach Houston He's only pitted once at lap number 15, whereas Crosby pitted once at lap number 9. So Houston lost a couple of positions in that final safety car, whereas Crosby held up in front. And same with Anderson and the likes of Welsh, who's now moved up into 3rd position. Slow down penalty for Zach Shepard, and he's going to have to watch out for getting any more penalties here in today's racing. Volpel will also get him. John Bosberg gets himself a slow penalty coming up towards the halfway mark. Brian Lavrisa is unfortunately blipping here and there. And fortunately, it's just a bit of a blip, so he continues to race. But for the time being, Shepard
that's
is
the track over there.
No, definitely not. He's getting a couple of bucks from mowing the lawn. It seems like the track staff was like, cool, we'll give you a couple of coins there if you mow the lawn for us. And the big Mustang taking up as much width as it can on the grass there, being able to cut as much as it can in one go.
Man,
and
this Bostic situation here is brutal. I mean, Lavrisa, it's brutal, man. I hate to rag on anybody, you know, if the internet service or whatever, but my God, I hate driving behind somebody who's blinking constantly, man. It's so hard. See, Boswick just picked up a slowdown trying to go around him because he gave himself extra room and ran off the track, you know, to make sure that he didn't run into the guy, and now he's got to slow down. Yeah, he's blinking bad.
Yeah, it seems like there's quite a bit of backward loss coming from Lavrisa. Someone's off in the background. Yeah, I'm not too sure that was. That was Paul Basson, I believe, indeed. No, not Paul Basson. He looks fine. It was one of the blue cars. I'm not too sure. Yeah, could have possibly been Schaefer. I see the slowdown penalty has been admitted. Was it Timothy Schaefer? So coming up, he's got Arroyo on the outside line. Was it converted possibly? Coming up the S's, he's on the grass. And what does the green? Oh, and there's the loss of traction. Oh, that is he's got to watch out there. If he rejoins the track on the right-hand side, that's an immediate disqualification for cutting off the track.
Yeah,
it is one thing you can do here at Virginia. And seems like he's been able to pull it back on. Unfortunately for him, he rejoins safely. No one in the danger zone there. But he's going to lose out a lot of grid positions.
Once we get caught up on this action here, I do have an interesting story from the Wednesday race here that we had. Right there in that section, going up through the snake, you know, where you're super fast and your potential of catching one of these, one of these little corners or curbs and catch some grass, you know. And this guy spun his car there, man, hit the wall, and I guarantee you it barrel rolled, no exaggeration, like 15 times. It was one of the most epic crashes I've ever seen on iRacing because, you know, he was hauling the mail through there, you know, practically full speed, I'm sure, you know.
Good old barrel roll at full speed. What's not to love about sitting in the virtual grandstand and watching something like that on a Wednesday night? Absolutely incredible. Well, not incredible for the driver. Unfortunately, they probably lost out quite a bit of a stride. But let's hope we don't see that yet tonight, especially at Virginia. There's fortunately no sand or dugouts that could potentially launch a car sideways. Oh, it happened yet, Virginia?
Yeah, it was here, right there, going up through the snaky section. He got a wheel off track and then lost it just like that. But it caught, and he barrel rolled.
That's quite interesting. Usually the catching is, we see it in gravel or in sand where just enough gets underneath the tires of the car for it to launch. A bit of an odd one to see it on the grass. Maybe the grass was nice and wet and containing a lot of water and possibly enough to launch. I'm not too sure. Well, but that's an interesting one, though, to hear here around Virginia International. First time I'm hearing someone barrel roll at Virginia. We saw it at Donington. I think we saw it twice at Donington. That was quite a spectacle in the GT3s. But
no, this was I mean, you know, those were little barrel. This was massive, man. I'm telling you, it was like literally no exaggeration. 10 flips here as we see Zach Houston going around Jason Holland here. I always give Jason Holland a hard time.
Oh, someone's off in the background again. That's Schildhauer. He's just lost it out of turn number 1, I see. And unfortunately, there he is in the wall. Oh, he's managed to save it out of the wall, fortunately for him. So not going to be
You and I are big fans of that livery, though. I know we are.
Yeah, definitely. Good old 2002 BMW from Formula One. Love that livery. And I think they ran it for multiple years, but I always just remember it from the year 2002. I think that was like my favorite game as a 7-year-old was Formula One 2002 on a good old Windows XP laptop, and so I definitely recognize that livery.
7-year-old, did you say?
Yeah, as a 7-year-old. Yeah.
That's funny.
Quite a while ago now. quite a
Oh
while
yeah,
ago. It's
ancient.
been quite a journey. And but back to the racing action. We are officially past that halfway mark, 47 minutes into this race. And the drivers need to essentially replicate what they've done in the first part of this race to make it towards the end here in one final piece. And up in front, so Crest has been able to pull a 7/10 gap. It's now up to 1.2 seconds.
Oh,
It obviously
Sheridan's
depends
got
on the
in
sector
trouble. Oh,
changes.
Sheridan's off track.
Yeah, there. Yeah, we just saw Sheridan getting a bit of a loose one up there, and I did see his time start to drop, and obviously that's what it was from, just getting off track. And that's going to be a neat old 2x added to his incident points. So this is coming into that second sector where we start the upfield S's. It looked like he just made a mistake entering the S's. Yep, there you can see he mounted that inside curve and just enough to chuck you.
It's pretty easy to do that there too, man. You know.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I think that's called, isn't that something like called NASCAR something or another turn or something?
Yeah, NASCAR bend is the turn number 3. Left hook is came out of.
Okay.
And that's where he made the error. So just before that is NASCAR bend, turn number 3, as back up to the live racing.
What people don't know is that for many, many years, this has been the hotbed and home of NASCAR testing for road course racing. Because track is only 2 hours from Charlotte, which is obviously the home of NASCAR. You know, all the teams are based out of Charlotte, and so yeah, this has been for years the track where all the NASCAR. Oh, is that Holland off track there? That was Holland. Ooh, he got lucky there, man. Unfortunate.
Yeah, that could have been way worse, especially with the rejoin coming from Ferrari just surrounding him over there. That's obviously the green Ferrari, who's had a bit of a tricky one so far this race of Arjan Singh, and just not being able to keep up with the pro class. Unfortunately, he is well into the mix of the AMs here after having a bit of a drop down in this race. Arujo just also a bit further behind, and we'll have to see what he can do, trying to work his way back up. There he's got Pete and Paul up on the inside line. And this could be a potential overtake looking on the inside from Pete and Paul. And he's going to hold the outside now, blipping up in front. That is a scary sight indeed, like you say.
Oh.
And there goes, someone's off in the middle of the track. That's John Bostwick, I believe. As John Bostwick has gotten himself a black flag penalty. And no, I don't think that's John Bostwick. His time doesn't look, nope, it is John Bostwick. There he goes down to pit lane. And unfortunately for him, that is not going to be a good result, because he's going to have to get that car repaired after the tow, and a black flag penalty that he's got to serve.
How do we have another caution?
Oh no, something is not being configured correctly. Another full course yellow. We're going to be here for a while, Jim.
I mean, it's just unfortunate. It's just, it's just for these minor incidents, it's costing a lot of race time, unfortunately. Well, I guess we can go see what happened. I think that might have had something to do with Labrisa there with this whole incident. Let's see.
I think the McLaren was already gone up in front. McLaren was already gone. Right. There's the McLaren up in front. Yeah, so I think that's Jeremiah Cohn or Tyler Crow. I know 2 of them are rocking the exact same livery. Or no, that was Holland. Apologies. All 3 of them are in the same livery. We literally just spoke about him, and then I'm going to forget his name. But Larissa definitely would have played into the confusion of the drivers behind with the blipping, but fortunately he was able to avoid.
I don't know. That bothers me, so I end up focusing on it. I obsess about it because it's like literally my worst nightmare to race around somebody who's blinking.
Oh, see, it was the moving and rejoining. That's where the incident came.
Oh,
and so Holland actually lost it, rejoins the track unsafely,
no,
and then again,
that was Tyler Crow.
Was this Tyler Crow this time?
Yeah, it was Tyler Crow that got into the trouble. Yeah, well, look.
Okay, so it is Tyler Crow that got. Yeah. Okay, so I was just.
No, Holland is the one that runs the Tennessee livery that I was telling you about.
Ah, okay, there we go. Yeah, so it's Tyler Crow who goes around.
Yeah, it was Crow.
And he just gets caught. Yeah, he gets caught by Arjan Singh, and man, Jim, Arjan has not had this race.
Yeah, but that's not Singh's fault. I mean, Crow moved. 100%. Yeah, Crow. That was a horrible rejoin on Crow's part. I mean, he just pulled right out in front of Singh.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm saying. Arjan Singh is just not getting the luck here today.
No,
because
well,
again,
I mean, some of it's due to
another
his
car
own.
comes out on
I
track.
mean,
Yeah, no, true, definitely.
I'll give somebody credit, but I'll also give him some flack when they deserve it. He's had his own bad incidents there, but that one was not his fault for sure. But yeah, apparently we are back under caution. All right.
Back under caution. And while the caution is on, I see I've gotten a calendar notification. I swear, if any of you in the virtual grandstand, if I see you leaving the virtual grandstand to go watch the F1 sprint, there's going to be problems because
yes, and we will not. No spoilers, please.
Yes, no spoilers,
no
please.
Spoilers on that. Actually, our viewership is up. Apparently, people are turning off the Formula One sprint because we're more exciting here. We have went up over the last 30 minutes in viewers right now. But, yeah, seriously, I think I will absolutely go in there and park it in front of the TV afterwards and watch the sprint race.
I will go park it in my bed and get a recap after the race. There is no shot I'm going to stay up after this one. I'm going to get as much Z's as I can. And yeah, apologies if you just joined the live stream. We're having a bit of a more casual conversations while we wait for our yellow flag to end. It's going to be quite a while as we see lots and lots of cars. As you can see, there are two cars completely stranded off the sides of the track. And here comes the second of the pit stops. Yeah, exactly. Why not? And I really thought this was going to be it, for the pit stop strategies being changed up.
So the question is, okay, right now we are 36 and a half minutes away from the end of this race. Typically, we know these cars can go about 30 minutes, right?
Yep.
We're going to get another probably 5 minutes of caution flag here. I think that with a little fuel saving, these guys can all make it home from here. So if you're not pitting here, you may be screwing up.
Well, another thing to remember is that they might not need to pit at this lap exactly. We can still see that there's a catch-up game that needs to be played.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if you look up in front, check the track map. First place up in front, the blue car, the Alan Aguilar. Just up in front of him is still a lapped GT3, 29th overall. And I'm not too sure who that is. It's possibly Jeremiah Cohn, James Gilpin. It's Gilpin coming through Oak Tree. And so he's definitely not going to catch up in one lap's time. So I think that safety car is going to go another lap. So I think best bet is to pit next lap. No, definitely not. It seems like he's taking a bit of a Sunday stroll to catch back up. Maybe it's a bit of a strategy. He's going to come to the pit lane.
Oh, well, actually, he's cooking. It just looked slow out there by himself. I mean, he's actually cooking.
It looks slightly slower as well when we compare it to the LMP2s. Obviously, they head down the back straight at well over 210-ish miles an hour. And, obviously the GT3s are around 150-ish, like we just saw with Gilpin. And so he is really pushing to try and catch up. Oh, there it is. I literally called it, coming into the pit lane. And so that's going to extend even more time for the drivers out on track to be in those yellow safety car conditions. So I think we're going to see even more pit stops as they come around. Yeah, we see them.
The top 7 drivers or 8 drivers have not pitted here. They pitted on last time on 15. To me, man, this is. But now if they pit this lap around and pit on 16 to give them that extra lap, okay, I'm cool with that. You're going to put yourself a little further back in the pit, but not really. I mean, if you're a LMP2, you're going to go right back up to the back of the LMP2 pack. So it's not like you're going to be far out of reach or anything.
Definitely not, like you say. And I don't know if that safety car is being overtaken by... I did see someone alongside the safety car now. But that was possibly just Aguilar getting a bit too close for comfort. I was almost thinking there was going to be a couple of GT3s allowed to unlap themselves. That would have been even more time under safety car conditions, but it seems not. But we're definitely still going to get one more lap.
The only time they do that is if there's several of them that are right behind the pace car, they'll let them go ahead and pass and come around. But that's usually not good. I was hoping we might get an explanation for this, but if I'm not mistaken, the gentleman who runs the software is actually racing, so maybe that's why we don't have an explanation. I'm sure this is obviously configured wrong because we were not supposed to have 3. Yeah, I don't know if my vote counts, but my vote counts. I vote for 0. That's the number I'm supporting.
Yeah.
None of these were
the
necessary.
question is, we could still see another one of these, Jim. You know, if something goes wrong yet again and that script is still running, we might see a 4th safety car infringement. There we go. It's green light as we go on.
What?
It seems like the safety cars decided to come in. I was also a bit confused about that one. I can't lie. I just saw Aguilar pulling off, and he's been able to pull off nicely away from Holiday.
Good job.
And Holiday's back up into 2nd position, yeah, so we'll have to see how that goes up in front. Jeremiah Cohn in the virtual grandstand as another one of the LMP2s goes off in the background. I don't know who that was, but it looks like possibly David Turnbull. Indeed, it is David Turnbull all the way down in 8th position now for that LMP2 class, and that is a great stride to lose. Background as well. Another LMP2 makes contact. So much in the background going on between our drivers here, and it seems like just a bit of an unfortunate start between all of our cars, and I'm hoping we don't signal another pit stop, and I mean another safety car to come out. That would not be ideal. And so here's, I believe, Nicholas Crest a bit further behind. David Turnbull on the outside line. Did he cook it? Indeed, he did. Just lost on the rear grip, and off he goes. There was another incident up in front coming out of left hook.
Popowski?
Yeah, Poplowski again. So the driver has been struggling tonight. And into NASCAR bend, and then into left hook. And I wonder where it is. Yep, there's left hook, and there it goes off into the track. They will dive, and very unfortunate to see, but back on track. They rejoin quite safely.
Has had an incident. They're piling up these incidents, man. I don't know how big this is. It's just an off track.
So fortunately, like we've spoken about, that script is only going to run if we have multiple 4 times incidents and a meatball flag being run at the exact same time. We know that window is quite big, as we had an incident earlier on where a meatball flag happened, and then about a minute or so later, another incident completely separate happened, and the safety car still got called out. So, yeah, bit of a confusing one, as we see Lavrisa is blipping yet again. Lots of action there up in front.
I mean, he's literally got a freight train behind him too. He's literally holding up a freight train of people. If we want to issue a flag, let's issue a black flag and put him in the pits for the blinking. Or an EOL or something.
Yeah, not too sure how that gets treated for Brian Lavrisa. But as I was saying, Jeremiah Cohn is in the virtual grandstand. He's saying it really has not been a good race so far. And that, really unfortunate to see that. And 2 4 times and a meatball within 15 seconds is the rule. And so I'm not too sure how that rule applied earlier then, because it was definitely longer than 15 seconds that we had before after the meatball and then the incident happened. So bit of a confusing one. Yeah, Basson and Houston is the 2 Porsches. Yeah, the battle for the lead. Yeah, battle for the lead indeed. Crosby is all the way down in 18th position, so he's definitely coming to pit. Which has changed up the lead of the GT3 class.
Lavrisa just picked up no, Schaefer picked up the slowdown. Never mind. I got Lavrisa on the brain. I do, man. I obsess about blinking cars. It's like an OCD thing with me.
No, I definitely get it. It's a stress out on track that all the drivers have got to watch out for. We've got the luxury though of just observing it from the bird's eye view. Imagine being down there, being behind that drive, all of a sudden they blip, and next thing they reappear. Don't worry, I can as well. It's I mean,
look, this is him blinking away, and then look at this line of cars behind him. So that's him right there, and then look at this line of cars. They're all laying back, battling for position, but they're all, avoiding him.
Yeah,
I mean, it's almost like an advantage. It's almost like
it's
also you got a blocker running for you or something out there. Oh,
yeah, it's also kind of degrading it's degrading the racing quality a bit in the middle, because you can see that Schaefer is very what's happened? What on earth
some
has just happened?
It's going to trigger one. We're going to see one soon. We've got
Sheridan,
like 4
Maori,
meatballs out there.
Holland, Negrete, what on earth has happened? So Holland and Negrete, I think those meatballs are from their previous incidents. I don't think they came back out on track. Possibly, but Sheridan definitely just got a meatball, and same with Maori. So what on earth?
Seacrest here.
Oh, that is huge contact.
That's Maori.
And, that's meatball.
Yep, that's Maori and Sheridan right there.
Yeah, that's where they both got their meatball
So,
flags from. That definitely
obviously
should
it
have been called.
must be turned off, because that would have triggered it, because that was several 4Xs and several meatballs. So
Yep.
that must have.
Right, well, that's great to
Yeah.
That's great to hear coming into the final half an hour. I mean, imagine into the final half an hour sitting for another 10 minutes behind a safety car. That really would not have been good, but fortunately for us, it seems it's been disabled. Maori's still out on track with that meatball flag. It doesn't look like it's affecting him too much, but unfortunately, rules are rules. The meatball flag means you have to come in, you have to get that car repaired, or else you will get disqualified.
Yeah.
So Maori's got to come in. And yeah, the reset just seems like, the drivers behind are scared. You can see that Schaefer is scared to attack because of the blipping. And I mean, it makes sense. You don't know where that driver's going to blip. Same, yeah, would also be, because you could be right behind and all of a sudden they disappear. Next moment you're alongside and you don't even realize.
Yep.
And then there's contact, and that's the last thing you want here. And so Lavrisa definitely is going to need to get that checked out if he's going to be participating in the penultimate and final rounds. That's where the points are going to be so important.
I mean, I don't want to sound negative, because I typically am not a negative commentator, for the most part, and I've been a little on these caution flags tonight because I don't approve, if I'm being honest. But what happened to the, as Schaefer's trying to go around Lavrisa here?
It seems like he's doing the best that he can, but there. Yeah.
You see, I mean, and he pops back, and then look, you can see now that Schaefer dropped back off because he just didn't know where he was at. What happened to the flag that was supposed to be triggered when you blinked like this? That was supposed to pull you out of the race. You remember that was such a big deal, like 2 seasons ago. They introduced that flag, and it was supposed to be a big deal and all that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure why that isn't being ruled in here, because, I mean, Lavrisa has literally been blinking since the starting line of this race, so he definitely would have been called off of this for all of the blinking being done here. And let's see, can Schaefer get past potentially on the back straight here? But once and for all, you see, look at this issue. You don't know where the driver is. Nope. He's completely gone. And now it's the issue of, are you making the overtake, or are you about to run into the back of a Lamborghini? Okay, so it looks like he's alongside. It's almost 3 wide, and it looks like he's managed to get ahead of Lavrisa. Now it's the job of Crosby to get ahead of Lavrisa, and that's also going to be a mission, as he's now running alongside, and this is where it gets very sketchy with the blinking driver, because where is he? He's still on the inside line. You can see how lenient Crosby's being. He's on the outskirts of this track, even to the point where he pushes himself off.
I thought he was going to pick a slowdown up there. Oh, well.
Black flag for Poplawski. Yeah.
They're starting to, the incidents are starting to mount up now.
Yeah, definitely so. And Poplawski, if you've only joined in the virtual grandstand now, unfortunately has been in the walls a couple of times yet tonight and been off track. So those incident points have just racked up to the point of Bitepoint, of the Bitepoint of a black flag, unfortunately. And
that was very clever of you.
Yeah, no, I'm a clever guy.
I have to give you credit for freaking 4 in the morning or whatever it is over there. More power to you.
4:43. All right, we're almost at 5 a.m. and then we can continue the day's events. But for the time being, 25 minutes left on the clock here for all of our drivers. This is the time now for them to make those overtakes. Maori is in the middle of a GT3 pack. He's flashing away at John Voigt, trying to get past with minimal effort, but it's going to be a bit of a difficult one to try and get past. The VR driver is going to have all the views he needs to try and see where Maori is going to position himself. And around the outside he goes of the Penn State driver of Mr. John Voigt.
Put this on so we can see Mr. Voigt there.
There we go. There's the VR headset. And man, one wrong clamp of the mouth and he bites into a charging port. He's got to watch out for that one. And
the charging cord cracks me up, though, man. I have to admit, the cord running out the front. Is
a bit of an odd placement for a cord. I can't lie to you.
Well, I mean, he doesn't see it because it's,
Yeah, true.
But still,
but I would expect like over the head or on the left side or right hand side.
Exactly, right. So,
and there we go. Lead of the race has changed. It's Holiday back up into the front, and looks like our initial race leader has migrated his way back up to the top for the Bitepoint Racing team, and Aguilar is dropping off drastically. So not too sure what's happened there. And Holiday seems like he's going to be on the running stride yet to make it towards the end of this if he can keep it up for the next 25 minutes.
The problem is all these guys here, Aguilar, Holiday, they both pitted on lap 15. They are absolutely going to have to pit again.
Yep, no, definitely.
Justin
so.
Bach,
I don't even know.
on the other hand,
yeah,
pitted on lap 24.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yep, so we might be able to see.
We've got that actually across several
from
things here. We've got in the GT3 Pro-Am, you got Arroyo here. He's leading class, but he pitted on lap 15 as well. So he's going to be, struggling for position with Schaefer, who is a couple of positions back, but he's already pitted. And now we've seen him earlier get by Lavrisa, so now he's on the move again. Aguilar is pitting now.
There comes Aguilar. Yeah, you called it. So Aguilar's in. Poplowski's in. When is Holiday going to come in there? That is the real question.
Poplowski's in there with the black flag. So
yeah, absolutely. But this is going to be the question. I don't think Holiday is going to hold this lead, unfortunately.
No. Well, absolutely not. He's going to have to pit. It's just
the question is, though, is Bach and Secrest and Turnbull going to make it to the end of this race after putting on lap number 24? Or are we going to see them getting to that final 10 minutes and running out of fuel possibly, or running out of tires? That could be a bit of a strategy thing, because remember, Holiday and Turnbull, Holiday and Aguilar have now pitted at their respective laps, lap number 31. And so this is definitely enough for them to get to the checkered flag line. It's now 22 minutes that he's got to run on the stint, and that's definitely possible in these cars, as we usually see them coming in at the halfway mark, half an hour mark in these races. So the question is, Jim, is Boxer, Crest, and Turnbull going to survive towards the end, or are they going to have to come in for one more pit before the end?
Well, that answers that, doesn't it?
Question. Well, that's a bit of an early one, if you have to ask me. Has Bach maybe predicted that no matter what, he's going to have to come in? And seems like it, because he's decided now is the time. I don't know if Turnbull's going to come in. Also, Crest. So Crest has stayed out. Turnbull, I also think, is probably going to stay out.
Based on my knowledge of Justin between this and the other league, that I don't know that Justin is known to be a great fuel saver. I may be wrong about that, but I think that I'm correct. And if I am, then that one wouldn't surprise me as much. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious. So if that's the case, then that pretty much means everybody else is going to have to make a pit stop in this race.
Yeah, definitely so. Especially, so I mean, if we're looking at that board, the only two drivers I think that are safe here, Jim, is the drivers who are putting around that 30 lap mark that we've just seen come in.
But he's
exactly, yeah.
Bostwick and who else?
All of our drivers.
Aguilar.
Yeah, so for all of our drivers who have pitted before that, so around lap 24, I think they're going to have to come back in. And so this is going to definitely change things up, because Holiday means that he can get himself into the pits here. And he's got a massive gap now. 15 plus 11 plus 13 seconds he's got still behind him. And so it's definitely going to move around. Remember that Secrest hasn't come in, nor has Turnbull. And so he's actually got that gap all the way to Justin Bach that he technically has to keep his provisional pole for the remainder of this race. And so
Secrest and now you got me saying it like you say it. Secrest and Turnbull both. I do that, man. I say all the weird things in front of my friends, and they're like, "What?" Secrest and Turnbull pitted on lap 24. So when they come in, just like Justin Bach, they're going to be able to take less fuel than Harrison Holiday. Harrison Holiday will have to take significantly more fuel because he pitted on lap 15. So he's going to have to take essentially 9 laps more fuel just to catch up to where Secrest and Turnbull are now.
Is 9 laps of extra fuel up time going to be justifiable for the amount of time, the gap he's generated?
Well, Secrest is only 16 seconds behind. So,
but Secrest less to pit. That's the question.
That's true.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
That's why it's a bit of a...
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a bit of a confusing one to try and predict now, because, I mean, we saw Bach coming in 24 mark. I think Secrest is trying to make it to the end on this pit stop. I don't think it's going to happen.
we'll
Judging
see.
by what Bach has done, yeah, exactly. We'll see. You know, maybe Secrest is a bit of a better fuel saver, and we see him
if you
moving up
remember,
and
we were
staying.
quite surprised earlier in the year, in the season, by some fuel saving strategy that happened, and it caught us off guard.
No, definitely.
So,
Holidays
to me, that adds an element. By the way, somebody picked out your South African accent. They said the commentator that's 4:46 in the morning. Are you from South Africa?
Soon he's going to have my IP address, it seems, because he's pinpointed my time and my location. Indeed, it
well,
is
you
Mr.
said
SLG
your
Racing.
time.
No, I did. Correct. Yes, and I think the accent is a bit of a giveaway. So.
He is going to have your he's going to have your IP address sending you flowers or something. All right, let's see. So Holiday's in now, and we'll see. This pit stop is taking a significant amount of time. Let's see. He is on his way out now. Bach is by him, though.
No, he's actually lost out to Bach. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Justin Bach got by him. Yeah.
Yeah, so Bach is technically in. If Secrest and Turnbull have to come into the pit
he's technically the
Bach
leader.
is provisional pole. Yeah,
yes.
he's technically got the provisional win here, just based on the pit stops he's done here today. And like you mentioned, he's not the greatest at fuel saving, but he's come in already to get that car refilled. So he's fine now, exactly. So,
and he's fast.
He doesn't need to worry.
He's fast. If I have to be completely honest about Justin, and I love Justin to death, and I've also commentator cursed him so many times over the last couple of seasons, I can't even begin to tell you. I have sent this guy into every wall in the world at some point in time or another. But he's fast. You know, he's just prone to making little mistakes sometimes that bite him in the ass, you know, so to speak. If I were to put money between the two, who's fastest, I would say Justin is probably faster than Harrison based on my knowledge of the two. But Harrison today has been his day, man. He qualified on pole. The guy has been blistering fast. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to shake out. And to be honest with you, I'd be happy if either one of them won this race just because it's, you know, somebody different. It throws a big monkey wrench in the plans, and I like that. Clearly, Turnbull decided he needed to pit, so I don't think anybody's going the distance. And, you know, if they're pitting this early.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think
going to be the
GT3 be able to hold. Yeah, that is true. We haven't paid too much of the attention on the GT3s for now because obviously the fight for the lead here in the LMP2s is getting quite close as we see Holiday is now on the backside. So Turnbull has come into the pit lane. So I don't think Secrest has got it. I don't think he's going to be able to make it towards the end. It's still
and he's hauling ass. Look at him. I mean, he's not coasting. I mean, he's flying right now. That car's right on the ragged edge. So he's trying to take advantage of running with the light fuel load and clean air and to put down as fast a laps as he can.
28 seconds of a gap. Unfortunately, that gap is too small in the average time lost in the pit stop. So he's definitely going to lose out to Bach after he pits if he needs to come in. And with 15 minutes left to go, I think it's just too big of a window for him to bring this home on this pit stop. And so, I mean, obviously, it's all going to be to play for. We've learned that in commentating that you cannot declare something until the end of the race. And so, you know, at this time, it's always just our own opinions and our own predictions in terms of what the driver can do. And there we see Secrest still staying out.
We had that issue earlier this year where Francis Crosby made it look like, you know, and he took the lead there on the last lap of the race. Excuse me. Because of a fuel saving issue, you know, and then we thought he had the race won, and then he ran out of gas with about 2 turns to go and didn't make it.
Jim, is that a yawn I just heard?
It was, yeah. I apologize. It's not.
That is a sin at that time for you.
I know. No, it's yeah. Well, I'm old. You know, I would love to tell you that I go to bed at like 9 o'clock, like the stereotypical old person, but I don't. No, that was actually. I think my dog triggered it, if I'm being honest. My dog is sitting here next to me, and he yawned. And I believe, you know how sometimes when somebody yawns, it makes you? I think my dog just triggered me.
Yeah, well, it seems like, well, thankfully we're getting to the end of it. So, you know, if we need to, we'll get to that point of, well, I'm definitely getting back into bed. I know you probably going to go hop on that Formula One sprint.
Oh, I am. I'm going to watch the sprint race for sure. Oh no, I'm not
watch
tired by
after
any
this.
means.
I'm specifying this afterwards to our virtual grandstand. You don't get to leave right now. It's those final 15 minutes. You've got to stay till the end and watch, and then you can head over to the Formula One sprint. But for now, you get to stay and watch Crosby's masterclass as he chases down on Anderson for that lead of the pro champion, the pro
Crosby
race
still got
in the GT3s.
And we think.
Oh,
by the way,
true.
These two are good buddies, and I know they endurance race together, so they've got a lot of experience racing against each other.
Let's see how it goes in terms of who's going to keep it up. Anderson's also on the same last pit stops, though, Jim. So
yes.
Both of them, in terms of finishing, unless the GT3 maybe is just, maybe it'll make it toward the end. You know, we'll never know until we see it. That is always the biggest question.
That's right.
So we'll have to wait and see how it goes.
Some guys are way better. But the thing is, I feel like if they weren't going to make it, somebody would be pitting. And nobody is pitting. Nobody that pitted on lap 24 in the GT3 cars is pitting. You figure somebody would go for that quick undercut or, whatever, and nobody's done it yet. So that indicates to me that it must be pretty close.
Got some love in the virtual grandstand for Austin Schildhauer down in 13th position. And he seems to be holding his stride as he chases down on Zach Shepard with Houston just behind him. So he's got to watch out for that. Houston, also one of the faster runners, about 6 seconds though. So 10 seconds actually from Schildhauer. So the HP BMW gets to keep on going. And I'm glad he made it brand relevant. If you snap a livery like that on a McLaren, I swear I will find you and make sure that your pillow is wet when you go to sleep. But fortunately for Schildhauer, he's oh no, Jim.
I do that. I do that a lot.
Don't do that. No, don't do that. All right.
In fact, I've got right now. I've got the old, the 7-Up, famous 7-Up livery that was Michael Schumacher's first livery. I've got that on a BMW GT3 car. I've got it on all kinds of stuff.
All right. That's an interesting topic from Jim's side, and quite frankly, I've never done that before. I don't think I ever will do something such as a bad crime like that. Oh, almost very close between the two of them as Anderson.
Oh, no, Crosby spinning.
Got to resort, and Crosby goes off. Crosby goes off, and he's not going to be happy about that one. His camera will appear, and let's see if there's any frustration or if it's just continue running, and unfortunately that's going to cook the tires a bit. I'm seeing a bit of a smile there from him, so maybe not too serious about that spin.
So.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, that was unfortunately self-inflicted from Crosby. There was no contact there.
They had contact right before that, though. That's the thing. I think he sent it in there and got it in a little deep. This is not good.
Bostic.
No, this
gets himself a black flag. Holiday.
This is the black flag.
Contact. Oh, that's the black flag penalty. And that's not good for Holiday, like you say. Chasing down and trying to move up further up the grid here, and it just has not worked out. But Jim, there is something else we need to look at here, because we're heading into the final 10 minutes, and guess who has not come into box? It's Nicholas Secrest, who still holds that pole position for the LMP2 class. So this is interesting, and I'm glad he hasn't pitted, because it means we get something to talk about in terms of strategy here. Is Secrest's time going to work out for him, or is he going to come towards just before the end of this race and run out of tires or run out of fuel and let Justin Bach take it?
Well,
I think he's realized.
He's slowing up for sure. His last lap time was a full 2 seconds slower than Bach.
Yeah, I'm seeing that now. His best 137, his last a 141. So
he's slow. He's definitely
slowing that car.
Yeah,
no, 100%. I think, I don't know, if he's fuel saving at this point, maybe he's actually got this in the bag. Maybe he's calculated it correctly to fuel save for these final couple of laps. That, again, it's only time is going to tell to see where this Canes livery is going to end up. Is it going to end up in first? Is it going to end up down in third position? Only time is going to tell. Unfortunately, Holiday has pulled himself out of the chance for the win here after that spin and tap. He's lost out to Aguilar, and he's now down 8 seconds. So, unfortunately, in 9 minutes, that is a long way to chase on the third position runner of Alan Aguilar here. And so, unfortunately, that's not going to be a manageable one. Alan Aguilar, though, 2.7 seconds away from Justin Bach. And so, with 9 minutes left, if something happens with Justin Bach, a little bit of a consistency error, we might be able to see him diving for that second position slot. We'll have to see how that goes.
No GT3s are pitting yet. We're down
This is
to
interesting.
8 minutes, basically, and no GT3s that are pitted on lap 24 are pitting yet.
Yeah, lots of interesting dilemmas to play with. Yeah, what is the decision going to be for all of these cars? We'll try and see what Sir Chris does. Yeah, so he's coming down roller coaster yet again, and I have a feeling he's just going to stay out. He's got the laps, he's got the tires, he's got the fuel load to
Well, we
make it
think
to
he
the end of
does.
this race. Yeah, well, I'm giving confidence here, Jim. All right, we're trying to speak.
Nope,
No,
he's
he
pitting.
doesn't. My goodness, he does not. He comes towards the end. He starts fuel saving just a couple of laps ago, and it seems it just wasn't enough. So Sir Crest comes into the pit lane, and Bach is going to move up into first position. The question is, where does he come out in correlation to Holiday and Aguilar? That is going to be the real question. How fast is this pit stop going to be for Nicholas Sir Crest? Here comes Justin Bach. He's rounding that final corner now, and I believe Sir Crest is still indeed in his box. There he is,
moving.
and he just pulls out of his box, so he's going to lose out to Justin Bach. Is he going to lose out to Alan Aguilar?
He is.
And Alan Aguilar just comes out, so indeed. So Crest takes third position now. Holiday would have been in third position if he just did not make that error.
We're about to have a hell of a battle here. We got 3 cars now within 5 seconds of each other for the lead of this race. You know,
well, that's always a good thing to see.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst things about racing when you get towards the end of the race and everyone is way too far away to make any form of overtake. So this is lovely to see. Alan Aguilar 1.3 seconds away from Bach, and then Holiday just behind Nicholas Sir Crest. So we might see lots of action here, as there we see Brian Lavrisa now letting the driver Jacob Sheridan go. Now,
right, Lavrisa is leading the Pro-Ams.
Oh, that's, I'm not going to lie to you, with the blipping, that is surprising to see him still running up there. And seems like his overall pace has really matched him, so it's unfortunate to see that the blipping has come into play.
No,
I don't know if he's going to get...
he might not even know that it's happening, you know?
Yeah, no, he probably doesn't.
You know, I mean, from that standpoint, he probably has no idea it's happening, but I do find it interesting that he is, you know, leading the category when he's, you know, I mean, there's really not anybody that close to him, really. The next closest car is Schaefer, who is, what, 23 seconds behind?
Yeah, 23 seconds indeed. So, yeah.
What happened to the kid that was leading Arroyo?
He's down in 19th position, it seems. So,
Did he pit? Oh, he pitted.
Yeah, it seems like he's pitted.
Oh, several of these guys have pitted now.
As well. Yeah, some of them have changed up in the background. It seems like a couple not able to make it. There comes Voigt and Lavrisa. So, unfortunately, Lavrisa not leading this race anymore.
Yeah, no,
Schaefer will now take it. And, yeah, everything is going to change in these final couple of minutes. Because everyone's left those pit stops towards the end. They really tried to push it, and it just wasn't enough to make it to the end on that pit stop. And they've had to come in for just another one. But Justin Bach has pulled all the right strategies yet today, and he's managed to get himself up into P1 and running towards the line for the next 5 minutes. The question is, can he defend from Aguilar, or is Aguilar going to be aggressive enough to get ahead of Justin Bach before the end of the checkered flag?
Yeah, it's going to be curious to see. I'm excited to see if the gap's going to close here.
We'll have to wait and see how this is going to play for all of our drivers. And Aguilar is not breaking down that gap, unfortunately, Jim. It was 1.3 seconds. It's now 2.2 between the two of them up in front. So it seems like Bach is finding a bit of pace here, and he's running away a bit. So as I do see some smoke at the start of the straight at the back there. Not too sure who that was. Turnbull is into the pit lane. What has happened to Turnbull as he moves down into 6th position now? Meatball flag for David Turnbull. We'll get a replay to see what's happened to him. And this is behind the GT3 of Paul Basson. Was there contact between the two of them? Indeed, there is. Basson just turning in on the inside and, just not stopping the car for Turnbull. And into the pit, into the wall he goes, the motor oil wall. And, yeah, that's the entire backside of that LMP2 car wrecked and done for this race.
Indeed, yeah, that was, what a mess, man. Let's see, is this what I want to see? Maybe we'll go with the Delta instead. I don't know. Aguilar is nipping it away. He's dropped about almost a half a second.
I see now.
Yeah, almost a
I
half a
see
second.
that, yeah. I see. I see he's dropping slightly now. So, I mean, it seems like it's a bit of a
3
play game.
minutes to go. That's going to be tight.
Yeah, it's about 2 laps left to go here in this race. And so you can see he's just getting up onto the backside now, 1.5 seconds. Bach needs to do everything he can to keep Aguilar behind. Remember that Alan Aguilar is your current championship leader in that LMP2 class. And so he is wanting to do everything he can to get up to the top and further extend his current gap. That is his mission, his one and only objective here today. And I think he wants to make that happen. Oh, and someone's off. That's Sheridan. Sheridan's got another black flag penalty. Yeah, unfortunately, at the backside of the LMP2 class, it seems like not finding grips down the roller coaster section. I almost thought that was Bach. I won't lie to you. That would have been not too great between the top two of them fronting.
I'll tell you what, this is going to be a battle before this thing is done here. This is going to be a battle.
Absolutely. 1.4 seconds, and Aguilar is catching every single lap. This is definitely going to be a battle between the two of them. The question is it going to be the offense or the defense that's going to be better from Bach or Aguilar? We're going to have to see how that all plays. There goes Sheridan into the pit lane. Houston has moved back up into the top running spot of the Pro class, and Schaefer moves up into the top of the Pro Am class. So lots and lots of stuff changing up here in the final 2 minutes of racing here. In fact, the final minute and a half of racing here. So we are going to be probably heading into white flag territory at the next lap for Justin Bach, depending on where he is. But it is officially under a second, Jim, between the top two of Justin Bach and Alan Aguilar. And Alan seems to be finding pace in his LMP2 car. He is catching lap by lap here. And Justin Bach is really going to start watching out now, because this could potentially be the loss of his race win if he's not careful.
I don't often pull for people or anything like that, but I have to say I would love to see Justin Bach get a victory. Look at the close up on it, going into the roller coaster here, man. See, that corner is so you can just carry too little speed through there because you're scared of it, like I am, or you carry too much and you just can't get the car to turn.
Or officially heading into that white flag territory. Yeah, this is going to be it. We're going to come across the checkered flag line with 40 seconds to go, and it's not enough to complete a whole nother lap. So,
because it don't matter.
Yeah, this is
out of the way.
This is Pete and Paul.
Yeah. He got out of the way. I mean, he's not stupid. He knows that the leaders are, I mean, look at this race we got right here, would you?
Yeah, I've definitely got a race on our hands over here. Probably going to be with them now toward the end of it, between the two of them, Aguilar and Bach, and watching to see if Aguilar has got it in him to find a slightly better run in one of these corners. And as you can see, it's already down to 3/10 between the two of them. Bach has got to go defensive through every corner. And Jim, the issue is going to be onto that back straight off the Oak Tree, because if Aguilar gets a better run on that back straight with the draft, he is going to be able to get ahead. If
I'm Justin here, I'm concentrating everything on getting the run out of Oak Tree right here for sure.
Yep.
You got to get that run. You can't. You're already going to be pulling him down the straight anyway. What are you flashing the lights for? Has he got somebody in front of him?
I'm not 100% too sure. Let's have a look at another camera angle way up in front. And now Aguilar is going around the outside line. It's going to convert to the inside, but Bach goes defensive at the last minute. And I think this is going to be enough, Jim. He's coming down the roller coaster section. Yeah, he's got a good run here to keep Aguilar behind. There's not much more that Aguilar can do unless he can dive somewhere else, but it's not going to be enough. And Justin Bach is going to come across the checkered flag line. He's got just a bit of running order. The cheers are coming from the bottom side, and it is a checkered flag run for Justin Bach. First place, and what a great win. Aguilar takes second position, with Crest taking third. Holiday will take fourth after his slight impediments and incidents, with Mauri finishing off in fifth. But back over to the GT3s. It is going to be Zach Houston, the leader of your pros, as he still comes through a couple of the midsections now. This is coming out of the final corner here, out of that final corner up into the main straight. And it is indeed going to be Zach Houston who leads from Michael Anderson and Francis Crosby. The three of them, like I mentioned, have been all fighting. And there they go. Michael Anderson, his lights flashing to signal the end of the race there. And that is officially it for our pro class. Schaefer also at the same time comes across to take the win for the Pro-Am. So what a great race we've had on our hands here today. 46 laps, loads and loads of pit stop strategies, and 3 ultimate winners coming across the line.
Yeah, what a fantastic race, man. I cannot wait to interview Justin, man. That's I am so happy for him. Just, like I said, I've commentator cursed that dude into every great wall in motor racing over the last couple of seasons. So it never fails, man. I click on him and say something or don't say something, and he ends up wrecking. It's just, oh man, But yeah, what a great run for him. And the guys, he shows up every week. He practices hard. He doesn't complain if somebody takes him out or something. He's not one of those guys that, throws a fit about that or all of that stuff. Man, he really, really is a good guy. So he deserves it. All right, I think everybody is finished now. We can get us some results. Let's do the results by class. What do you say? Let's start with the Pro-Am class.
Results by class sounds good. Let's go backwards. Yeah, indeed. Let's start from the back end side. Here's your Pro-Am results. It is indeed Timothy Schaefer who takes the win. Brian Lavarisa, unfortunately, blipping all over today, takes second with Jack Shepard taking third. Justin Waltz will take fourth with David Volp, our current championship leader, down in fifth. Lorenzo Arroyo down in sixth position with John Bostwick and Jordan Cox in eighth position. Ihor Ochko, also a bit of an unfortunate race here today. 17 incident points to his name with Blake Pietenpol in 10th. 11th is James Gilpin, 33 incident points after today's racing, unfortunately. Jason Holland will take 12th, with Tyler Crone 13th and Jeremiah Cohn taking 14th position. Moving over, though, to our pro class for the GT3s. It is indeed going to move over. There it is. It's Zach Houston who takes the win here today, with Michael Anderson currently sitting in second. Francis Crosby will take third, and Paul Basson taking fourth position. John Voigt, Austin Schildauer, and Kyle Galagos, all some of the cleanest drivers in this race. 4, 9, and 8 incident points. Some of the lowest that we will see. And Arjan Singh, unfortunately, the highest in the pro class of 27 incidents here today. And then our final class, last but not least, is our LMP2s. It is Justin Bock who takes the win for the Sim Coach team, followed by Alan Aguilar in second. Nicholas Crest will take third, with Harrison Holiday taking fourth position after not calculating some things right and unfortunately having a bit of a looser side towards the end of the race. Scott Mowry will take fifth with Jacob Sheridan, and David Turnbull in 7th and 8th position, with Emilio Poplowski 8th position, Justin Negrete in 9th. Blake Ward takes 10th with Jake Bennett, unfortunately, all the way down in 11th position, 31 places down in 10th position. But that is officially it. We've got our race winners for each class coming up.
Let's do Justin last. So,
yeah, we'll do Justin last. I'm going to pull in our GT3 Pro-Am winner of Mr. Schaefer up in first place for the Pro-Ams. Welcome into the commentary box. You are live on Motormouth Broadcasting, and congratulations to that Pro-Am win. Just talk us through what the race presented to you here at Virginia International.
It was hectic. I mean, I wasn't expecting as many safety cars. I kind of just pit in every single time for the free fuel, and my thought process was that I could just kind of I felt pretty fast, so that I felt like I could make some positions up. And then all of a sudden, like after the last safety car, I felt pretty good, realized I was battling with some pro guys, and then came in for my pit stop. I figured Brian was going to have to pit, so I wanted to kind of undercut him, and it worked out. So last time in Canada, I won by a technicality, but this is my first win by merit, so it feels fantastic.
So I got a question for you. So we're talking about Brian. I noticed you were stuck behind him for a while there earlier in the race when he's been blinking pretty bad all day. Was that a little tough for you there? It seemed like several times you went to make a move and then backed out of it because he blinked and you didn't know where he was at.
Correct. I would say at the start of Roller Coaster, I was extremely hesitant to dive bomb him, and then I don't know if it was on the broadcast, but like turn 2, I felt like I had sent it on him, but he went gone, and just to be safe, I just kind of backed out, waited for the right opportunity, and then after Oak Tree, I had a great exit and was able to make a pass on the straight. So it was just a game of patience. I felt like I was quicker than him, so I just had to set something up for myself.
Right.
But it was a little bit of frustration, but nothing I don't think most people could not manage. I mean, it seemed pretty okay.
Cool. All right. That's the only question I had for you. I just wanted to see how you felt about that.
Yeah.
Incredible stuff. And next week, you head to the penultimate round, Road Atlanta. How are you feeling for that in the Aston Martin?
Great. I'd say like I'm out of Chicago, so I track like Road America is my closest big track, and that's one I feel most confident at. But apart from that, Road Atlanta, I feel extremely confident at. So I feel good about myself, and then I know that Sebring's coming up, and I'm consider my strong suits at these old American road course tracks. So I feel good about the upcoming schedule, and I think I'm on track, hopefully, for a podium in the next two. I know that's kind of overconfident, maybe, but I feel like if I keep driving like I am, should be good racing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Keep on going how you are, and you will be racking in those final good few points before the end of the season. But before you head out of the commentary box, is anybody you'd like to thank or mention?
I don't know. I just like the whole league. I mean, I came in here last season begging for Pro-Am, and I figured like it just racing in a league, especially with these guys, and I do the endurance races with them, either consciously or subconsciously. I felt like I've learned so much. And like it's honestly the pro guys. I'd say Crosby, Mike, and Rocky, even though Rocky isn't pro, but Jason Holland. Those three guys, the winners, the management, have just been running this league, helping me, teaching me. Scott in LMP2 has helped me. Harrison's helped me. Like all these guys have helped me. So I wouldn't say anyone in particular, but just the league, the community as a whole.
That's what it's all about.
Exactly. That is indeed what it's all about. Well, thank you so much for joining us in the box here tonight. We'll hopefully see you next week at Road Atlanta. Have a good one.
All right. Perfect. Thank you, guys.
All right. That was our Pro-Am winner. We're going to still leave Justin for last, as I know Jim wants to have a good chat there. Zach Houston will be joining us in the commentary box. Zach, you are live on the virtual grandstand. No, not the virtual grandstand. That would be the other side. You're live on the box here at Motormouth Broadcasting. And I mean, just talk us through that race. I know there was lots and lots of back and forth between yourself, Michael, and Francis, but it seems like you came out on top today.
Yeah, the second I saw them pit with 35 minutes left, I knew I had a chance and was just hoping that they couldn't somehow stretch that. 3 or 4 laps left, they started coming into pit, and I was like, okay, I've got the fuel, let's go.
And what was the change of pit stop strategy for you with all the safety cars?
I did not take the first and third safety car. So I stretched the first stint and then stretched the second to last stint.
Incredible stuff. And I mean, in general, how did the Porsche feel as one of the GT3 picks here at Virginia?
It's the best car there is. I don't know why everyone's not using it.
Sounds like a biased Porsche user if you have to ask me.
Slightly.
Absolutely.
Slightly. No, that's always good to have a good car pick. But next week around, we head to the penultimate round of Bitepoint. That's heading to Road Atlanta. How are you feeling for that?
I'm excited for Road Atlanta. These championship points should be pretty close between Anderson and Crosby and I, and so it should be a good finish to the season.
It's exciting.
Yeah, very exciting indeed. And before you head out of the box, is anybody you'd like to thank or mention for tonight?
I know nobody tonight. That was a tiring race. I'm pooped.
Yeah, we can hear you are absolutely finished. It's been quite a rough one for you to finish up on the top spot, but guess what? You've done it. It's all done and dusted now, and that is the third race in the bag with another win to your name. Congratulations for tonight, and we hope to see you possibly in the box again next week for Road Atlanta.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
That was Mr. Zach Houston, Jim. You can hear that man has been pushing himself to the limit here tonight, and he is probably about ready for bed, even though it's not bedtime in
well,
America,
it might be where if he's on the East Coast, it's 11:20. That's if you got up and went to work this morning like normal people do, then that's entirely possible.
No, definitely true. Definitely true. But our final interview for the night, the guy, the man, the myth, who takes the final spot in LMP2, the winner overall, Mr. Justin Bach. Welcome into the box. You are live on Motormouth
If you want to crash,
Broadcasting.
if you want to go ahead and go, I'll do the last interview because it's 4:00 in the morning for him, and Justin and I are going to talk for a minute.
20 past 5.
5
okay,
o'clock.
if you guys are going to talk, I'm gonna
go ahead.
I'm gonna head off. Justin, enjoy the interview, and well done again.
I will. Thank you.
So I've been waiting for this for a while, man. When I realized that you actually could win this race, and then it got a little dramatic there at the end, which was fun. I enjoyed that. And I said on the broadcast, a commentator cursed you into every wall in every good racetrack around the world. So it's really good to see you get this one. I can see the excitement when you cross the finish line. From my perspective, I watch you. My being critical of you has always been that you were fast, but you made a few mistakes here and there, but you're never the guy who gripes and complains when somebody takes you out of a race. You handle it all the same. You treat it all the same, and it's just I'm glad to see it pay off for you tonight, especially in this car too, because you traditionally have not been as fast in this car as you have been in your GT3 car, and so for you to achieve the success here, I thought was extra cool because these cars are significantly harder to drive than a GT3.
Well, especially after the showing I made on Wednesday in the GT3, there's no room except to go up from that debacle. But yeah, it's
not your best night.
No, that definitely wasn't my best. And
how funny though?
Yeah,
huh? You have the worst, arguably
the
worst night, and then you followed up with a win tonight. That's
right, exactly. On a track that I know, but I'm not particularly fond of. Let's just say I was threatening Jed with if he puts VIR on the schedule again, I'm quitting. So
you probably won't mind it as much now, though.
No.
So that's I'm assuming you haven't ever gotten an LMP2 victory before in anything.
Just the odd like daily race or weekly race or whatever. But this is actually my first win in either of the leagues. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, you deserve it, man. Like I said, you're a good guy, and you've I know you help people and all the things, and I know that you're not one of those guys that bitches and complains when somebody wrecks them. It happens. We all know that, and
with spotting for Ollie and seeing how many different races he's been in, he's whenever the team wrecks out, he's always like, there's always another race. So, I mean, we have the privilege of driving digital versions of the cars that we all love and pretending to be racing drivers.
I know, right?
There's just not. I mean, I might get upset, but as soon as my computer gets turned off, that's it. It's over, and it's on to the next one. So,
well. Yeah, man. Like I said, I couldn't be happier for you, and I'm so glad that I was commentating for this because normally I would be just doing production, but Ewan had to bail out at the last minute, so I jumped in to do commentary. So
I'm happy. I'm happy you did as well because, like I said, like you said, we've had a history, even though we've not really talked up to this point.
Yeah, no, we definitely have had the joking history of me commentator cursing you all over the world.
Yep.
And, it's become kind of a running joke. And to be honest with you, when I realized that you were in a place where you could win this race, I almost didn't want to put the camera on you. But I didn't want to cheat you out of seeing that victory. It was by far the best battle on the track, and when all of you ended up pitting, and I realized you were all within about 5 or 6 seconds of each other. That it could turn out to be something special. And
and those guys are so quick.
Yes.
At one point when we restarted, I was like, every single one of these guys that's behind me is a class driver, and I am going to have my work cut out for me either to keep them behind me or I didn't know what was going to happen, but then just everything it just all blew up behind me, and then those guys were fighting, and then next thing you know, there's only one, and it's Alan, and he's coming on so strong, and I almost
2.5 seconds at about 2 laps. Yeah,
I
but,
almost gave it away on that last straight. I was watching what he was doing, and I upshifted about halfway through too early, so I quick downshifted. That lost me my momentum. That's how he was able to even have a sniff going into the roller coaster.
but that's a tough. The roller coaster is a tough spot to pass, man. I mean, you know, because
I knew.
The thing is, if you carry just the slightest amount of speed too much through there, I thought you went through there a little slow. I didn't realize what had happened. Because that's my nemesis turn here is I end up over slowing for roller coasters so much because I've ran off there so many times, you know, and so that's my nemesis corner here. And I saw you go through there slow, but I was like, he's not going to get past there, you know. And once you got clear from that, I knew you were okay. And as we said it on the broadcast, you know, it's like, you know, you'd have really had to screw up there at Hogpen or something to throw it away, but.
It was.
I was.
If that would have given it up, I was going to just park the car and be done. I can't believe that he was that close, and I had to close it off.
That makes it all the better, though. I mean, you know, it's one thing to get a 10-second victory. It's another thing to beat a guy like Allen and beat him, you know, by 3 or 4 tenths of a second, you know. So, I mean, that makes it even better. But look, man, I am so happy for you. Congratulations.
Hey,
you know,
thank you very much.
I don't often pull for people, but when I realized that you were in a spot that you could win that race, I openly pulled for you. I don't, you know, and anybody that watches these series on the regular, you know, clearly know that our history and the joking about me jinxing you all over the world. So this was really cool, and I was glad to be a part of it. I really was.
Awesome. I was glad you are too. Real quick, hopefully my parents were watching because they usually watch every single race, and if they didn't, they missed a good one. And if they didn't see it live, guess what? You're not allowed to watch it live anymore.
Yeah, exactly. If you weren't watching, you're done. So you can watch the replay broadcast later. No, congratulations, man. And I'll tell you what was interesting. Again. We held viewers all the way to the end there too. So quite a few. So
nice.
Yeah, that's it means that they thought it was entertaining. You know, I will ask you this real quick before I let you go.
Yeah.
What was your opinion of the safety car situation?
Oh, so there was a bunch of people. So we all expected 2 safety cars.
Of course. Yeah.
So when and that's something that actually happened earlier too. There was a yellow flag in front of me from a couple cars wrecking. I was like, oh, there's a safety car because it looked like a pretty bad wreck. So I kind of backed off a little bit and I was like, oh, wait, it's not. Yeah. And it wasn't. And then I kind of kicked it back in. But then when the first one did, and I don't mind them. I think that it adds a little bit of realism. Plus, it gives the opportunity for somebody who, like me, that's probably one of the only reasons why I won. Was because of the safety cars. For raw pace, there's so many people that are in this league that are a lot faster than I am. But the safety cars kind of introduces that little bit of strategy. Now, the extra safety car, which is probably what gave me the win. Am I mad about it? No.
Of course
Should it
not,
have probably
right.
happened? No. But you know, hey, it did, and I'm sitting here, so
right.
I can't.
And I'll be honest. My opinion is I just don't see the point of them in virtual racing. You know, other than if you're going to do it, just call it a competition caution and throw one at a certain point in the race. You know, to bring things back together, because that's really what they turn out to be. Because the incidents are so minor that usually bring them out. Even tonight, even with the new regulations and all that, they were very minor incidents, you know, and they never seem to come out when all hell's broken loose, so to speak, you know.
Yeah.
But and I'm fine with that, you know. But
I've raced in some of the majors series, or one of the major series, and I like the way they do it. But they have live stewards that can control it.
Yes.
So they basically they roll a dice and say, okay, this split is going to get this many safety cars, and then they have something on their phones that says randomly assign 3 numbers to a 24-hour period, and that's when they do them. So only the stewards know when it's going to happen. It's not caused by anything or whatever.
Right.
This is an next best thing, but I don't know that it's great on an hour-long race. I think the hour and a half, they absolutely
well, definitely
could
could have potentially changed the pit stop strategies. In the end, it didn't really, because it all kind of, the way they fell time-wise, it all kind of shook out about like it would have if there would have been none, I think.
Yeah, there was a bunch of strategies on the board because each time there was 1 or 2 people that stayed out.
Yes.
Whereas when I'm done like fuel and stuff enough, it's like, hey, if you're behind a safety car, it's free fuel, and I'm not going to fall back that far in the order, and we're all going to be right next to each other. So I'm going to take fuel, and so that's what I did every single stop. So I just filled up because all it was going to do is shorten my last stop. And that's exactly what it did. Not only did it shorten my last stop, but then the people that were in front had to fuel a little bit longer as well.
Yes.
So
certainly, Harrison Holiday, and I know he was up there and it pitted like 9 laps before you did. I know he was one of them, and maybe Nicholas Seacrest, I think, as well.
Yep.
I'm not sure. Now, but
the guy that punted me at the beginning of the race, not gonna, not holding a grudge or anything. Yeah, that was him. He punted me into a roller coaster.
Oh, well,
but
I probably
it's all good. Like I said.
Oh, was that on like lap 6?
Yep, that tracks.
Oh,
I'm watching it with you now.
Is that him? Yeah, that's him, huh?
Yeah, that's him with the.
With the canes.
You know what sucks about that? I love Raising Cane's.
Well, so do I, because Raising Cane's I'm from Louisiana originally, and Raising Cane's was created in Baton Rouge by an LSU graduate, I believe.
Oh,
so
wow. Nice.
It is it's kind of an LSU Louisiana thing. So I also like Raising Cane's for that reason. But apparently he gonna have you raising some cane here in a minute, huh?
Nah, it's all.
Oh, he did punch you. Oh, big time.
Yeah, I was in the process of braking, and I was fuel saving a lot there too. So I had my foot off the gas, and
apparently
luckily I didn't hit anything. But that's usually what happens if somebody rear ends you, Jim.
That is typically what happens. Well, you just could have put his foot on the brake late, I guess.
That's all right.
No,
I knew there were cautions. I knew there was possibilities for some cautions, so I didn't let it bother me. But.
No, I mean, and like you said, your strategy was really right on. You knew that they were going to regroup all the LMP2s up at the front again. So why not, take the fuel? It's free fuel at that point, and you're only going to lose a couple of spots. And depending on how many guys come in with you, you might not lose any at all,
Right. Well, at one point I came out and I was in 4th place, and I was like, that's when I looked behind me and saw all the really fast guys, and I was like, oh, this is going to go so well.
Well, to be honest, though, that is the point in the race that I realized that you had a shot to win. Is after some of the pit stops had happened, the 3 guys that were ahead of you were more than likely going to need to pit, and then you were 4th. You were the first guy who was on the proper pit strategy. And
I didn't have to, because I'd stopped the previous one because I was getting fuel every single time.
Right.
I only had to fill up like 15 to 20 liters. And I was able to jump out, and I didn't even realize why I was doing that. I was just like, oh, hey, look at that. Oh my gosh, they're fast and they're behind me.
Yeah, but it worked out. So again,
yes,
man, congratulations. It's been a hoot to be here for it again, like I said, and to talk to you through all of this. And I'm really, really glad I was here for this. So, and,
all right, I am too.
So congratulations, buddy, and I will we'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, Jim.
All right. All right, so clearly I am the last commentator since we've let everybody else go. Tristan go to bed, so I'm just going to sign off here by saying thanks for sticking around with us and watching this. It's been a great race, and we look forward to seeing everyone at our upcoming stuff. And next Friday here, we're going to be back here at Road Atlanta with some great points battles in every class. And thanks for tuning in to Motormouth Broadcasting, where legends are built one corner at a time.